The Rewatchables is brought to you by the Ringer Podcast Network, where you can find The Watch with CR.
For sure.
You can find The House of R with Joanna Robinson. Rob Mahoney, first time ever.
I know.
You did it. You're on the Ringer NBA show. You're on the Prestige TV podcast. You're on my podcast sometimes. And now
this one.
I asked you for a list. I asked Joanna for a list. Like, give me 12 movies that we haven't done yet.
Didn't ask me. It's okay.
Oh, you just
Chris,
sent me back Sicario. You're like, Sicario.
I have other ideas. Yeah.
But there was one movie that was on both lists.
I mean, the stars completely aligned for High Fidelity. How could it not?
CR, you fucking bitch. Let's work it out. High Fidelity is next.
You totally stole that from me.
This episode of The Rewatchables is presented by State Farm. Whether you're debating watching that award-winning sports drama or rewatching your comfort buddy comedy movie for the 10th time, choices are important. When it comes to choosing coverage, a State Farm agent can help you find options that are right for you. Go online at statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to get help from one of their local agents like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. I have a million places I could start here, but let's start with why both of you picked this. Joanna, you go first.
Probably because we had just done the Big Pick movie draft and it was on my mind.
It was.
So I think that's why it was on my list.
But also, if you work here, like, this is a formative movie for people who care about things obsessively. Like, what else are we doing here if not this kind of thing?
Yeah.
I saw this movie as a teenager, and of course you see some of that Rob in this Rob. You see some of that. Like, there are parts of him that you loathe, and there are parts of him that you love. And so it's like, how could you not pick a story like this?
CR, you actually worked in a record store in the late 90s.
Yeah, from 95 to 2003, I was a record store clerk.
So this movie comes out in 2000.
Also an assistant manager as well. I don't want to make it sound like
true.
I
You had some oversight.
My career development was
Did you have
taken
keys?
off.
You had keys?
I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had keys.
Not to Kim's, but for Newberry, yeah.
So this movie comes out, but you'd already read the book.
I had Nick Hornby. It's set in London. It's like a twin with Fever Pitch in that sort of like Peter Pan English male trying to hang on to the things that he loved as a child as he becomes an adult. Yeah.
Was he like your favorite author in the 90s?
He was one of my first, he was one of my first contemporary authors that became like a favorite author.
That like if there's a new Hornby novel out,
I
you're
was
gonna
like
read
so
it.
excited after I felt very seen by those two books.
Were you cool that they were making a movie out of the book?
I
Because
know
that
that
was
this
like
is
a traumatizing 90s, like, oh, you can't touch that book. You're going to fuck it up.
I was upset about Chicago.
I was upset.
Really?
I was nervous about Chicago, but I was a huge Grosse Pointe Blank fan.
Right.
Yes.
So I was excited for John Cusack with music because he had obviously shown an affinity for like populating his movies with really great bands and really great needle drops.
I'm surprised for the two of you because you're two of the biggest Anglophiles I know. So moving out of the UK, yes, that's scary. But they make the characters in this obsessed with British music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So doesn't that speak to you in some way?
But sure, but I loved the book, like CR, and I just didn't see it working outside of, and it totally works.
Yes.
Like it works really well, but I didn't want it, and I was wrong. And I'm surprised, they made a TV show on Hulu, which I actually really, really loved as well.
I feel like COVID killed that show.
It
It was right before COVID.
It's ridiculous that got
I
canceled.
really liked it.
Why?
But we still haven't had a London-based version of this story, and I would take it eagerly.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the version of it that happens on Hulu, the Hulu show, I think the hardest thing to get over is the idea that there's still like a relatively thriving record store.
Sure.
Right.
There are some that are still doing well, and the vinyl is probably having like its most popular run in a long time in the last couple of years.
That would be the re-entry.
But the idea of like a record store where like multiple people can work for
even in 2000.
Yeah.
It was 2000 definitely.
Even
tough.
in 2000, I was like, that apartment? Rob's like, look at my shitty apartment. I'm like, that apartment?
That apartment's sick.
Yeah, it's great.
I have a complicated relationship with this movie because I was probably the exact same age as the guy in the book when it came out. I was obsessive with weird shit like him. My life wasn't going the way I totally wanted it to go at that point. And I also loved the book. So it was one of those where I went into it ready to not like it that much, but it's kind of worn me down over the years.
Can I ask you, do you feel like when you read this book, had you started writing yet?
Oh, yeah.
Was it influential?
No, because I always thought his style was just so different than mine.
Yeah.
But see, I don't feel like he invented anything with that. It was a lot of how we conversed in
That's
the 90s.
the thing. Yeah.
Because we didn't have the internet yet. And it was a lot of like, you would have these long arguments about shit for like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And you would argue, you would do like lists of things or favorite whatever. Like this is all the stuff that like became Bleacher Report. We were just doing in somebody's
We were just
apartment at 1:30 at
Constantly
night.
generating listicles.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Well, to the point, I'm kind of surprised you like this movie because I consider you the patron saint of the top sevens.
Right,
Yeah,
that's true.
what are you even doing with the top
Well,
five?
you have
Like,
to make it a little
Top
different.
11 Cusack straight-to-video movies in the 21st century. Let's go.
Here's what I realized as I was thinking about it. Like, I do think it's the last Gen X movie. I think Gen X kind of dies with this movie in a lot of ways. But then I was trying to think of, this is why I called Klosterman today. Because I was like, this is my list of like the essential Gen X, if you're doing a thread from where I'm going to start to High Fidelity. And it's interesting because Cusack bookends it. Because his theory was that Say Anything is the first Gen X movie, which I actually agree with. Because he's like, Lloyd Dobler, all the things he stands for is Gen X.
yes.
And he's
like, I don't want to sell anything.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, he has
Thesis
that whole
statement.
speech. He's like, I don't know where my path is. That was basically Gen X. Pump Up the Volume, I think, is a Gen X movie. Slacker is the one that I'm not sure about. I have that as an asterisk.
Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Because it's, like Chuck was saying, it's a little bit more like it's set in Austin in the 80s, but it is Gen X. It's like, it's on the cusp. Anyway, Singles, Reality Bites, Before Sunset, Kicking and Screaming, Chasing Amy, and High Fidelity, I think are the ones that have to be in there. And then Slacker, I'm not sure about. I wouldn't put Clerks in there because
Chasing Amy is definitely the Kevin Smith that you would put on that list.
I think so, because otherwise it's 5 years between Kicking and Screaming and High Fidelity. And I need like something.
Oh, you need like
just to like take
Okay.
it. But I think the thing that all those movies have in common, except Slacker, you have this male protagonist, doesn't know where his life's going.
Yeah.
There's either somebody that he used to be in love with and he screwed it up, or he was in love with her but wasn't sure she was quite good enough for him, or she dumped him and they're just kind of navigating it and you're not even positive you like them. This is probably the least likable character of all the leads.
Sure.
And it's about the woman, and it's always told through the eyes of the male. There's no female Gen X movie, really, that I can remember from the 90s. Was there, CR?
Off the top of my head, it's hard to think of one, but there was.
It's always the dude.
Well, a lot of the movies you described are guys talking in room movies, and a lot guys talking in rooms at women, like trying to prove. Like even Ethan Hawke in Before Sunrise and Sunset. It's a lot of like, let me preach.
I would argue that Winona Ryder is the protagonist of Reality
That is
Bites.
true.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, and I think you could say in Singles, like Bridget Fonda is a co-protagonist.
Would you put Heathers in this group? Or is that like
I wouldn't, but it's close.
I think Heathers and Say Anything to me are a different kind of high school movie than the ones that I had gotten previous to that. So they're different than John Hughes.
But what is Heather's teaching us about Gen X? I guess is the question.
So when you were younger than Gen X, CR was right at the tail end, and I was like head first in the middle of it. So when you both look at Gen X, what do you see?
I'm a cusper. I like to claim Gen X when I can. Yeah.
I mean, I obviously the jadedness I think is part of it, and clearly just like the such a strong pushback against any kind of like sellout culture or enfranchisement in any way. Like there's such an independent spirit, and with that, I think just comes like a cold, hard, honestly bitter shell to a lot of these movies and stories.
Yeah,
and you can see that with Rob through and through, right? Like he is closing himself off from the world in this book and this movie, and just like fiddling through his record collection as a way to keep warm at night. But I think that's kind of what sticks out to me the most about these Gen X stories.
It's funny that you went through these like Gen X signposts because I was thinking about this. I think that this is a great retail movie.
Yeah.
Like a hang at the store movie.
Yes. Yeah.
And you've got Clerks 94, Empire Records 95. You've got Mail, which I was a bookstore clerk, so that's what I would count, 98.
I think that counts.
And then you've got this 2000. It was like a nice little run for like.
I'd even throw Mallrats in there, sort of, kind of. At least heading
most
to
of them
a
are
mall
not
and
out
shopping.
working, but yeah, exactly. So like hanging out on your retail job is, I think this is all comes from Clerks. But that's my favorite part of this movie. Like Rob and Laura is interesting to me, but the guys in the store.
Well, and
hanging out.
Slacker kind of the bookstore in Slacker kind of works for this as well as like a retail hangout place.
One other thing with Gen X that this movie hits perfectly is you're kind of stuck with the people you were stuck with
Mm.
wherever you lived. And they weren't exactly, it's like you're not on the OKC Thunder this year. You're not winning 75 games. You're kind of on a playing team, but you have all this content you want to talk about. And it's like, well, these are the people I guess I have to talk to about
These
this.
two guys showed up to work and never
Don't
left.
stop. Name names. You know?
Yeah.
But like
Jeffrey.
he's with these two guys that I'm not even sure he really likes. And they're not that likable.
Yeah.
But they're all just kind of together every day doing top 5. And he's just like almost like a stand-up doing a bit.
Yeah.
But that's the joy of the retail job, especially like based around like I would say music or books or something like that, where it's just sort of like you have this base thing in common where you love books or you love music or you love like I worked at a movie theater, you love movies.
Yeah.
And so
Video
even if
store,
you
yeah.
like different genres, there is this sort of, you wind up becoming friends with a weird group of people where you have this core thing in common. But otherwise your paths would never cross.
So you're saying what you like is more important than what you are like.
I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
It's at least kind of true, right?
And I found myself sick to my stomach when I was like, I know we're not supposed to agree with this, but
God
I
damn
kind
it,
of
Rob.
agree
It's
with
like
it.
the Dark Finstock Award. It's like, it doesn't matter. I agree with Joe. I mean, like, I remember the names of almost everybody I worked with at a record store, but like forget names of people that I met last year, you know,
Yeah.
like, and there is also like, it's a very important time in your life when you're kind of in college, coming out of college, or if you're just like entering the workforce. The retail jobs that I had and the record store jobs specifically that I had, I was like, you know what? If nothing ever else happens to me, I'd be good. Like I kind of would still work at a record store if I could.
I get nostalgic for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, can I do that on the weekends? Can
'Cause
I go
it's
into the bookstore on the weekends?
intellectually stimulating while being physically mechanical. So like you just don't have to do that much. You just bullshit with people all day about stuff you're interested in. And then like the things that you're quote unquote responsible for are like alphabetizing and moving things.
That actually does sound very
Shelving.
soothing. Yeah.
A lot of shelving. And then you close the store door at the end of the day and then you're done with work.
Yes. And lots of cigarette breaks.
Yeah, I remember my buddy Gus from high school. We used to play this game called the name game. Where you say Joanna Robinson, and then I had to say the next name had to have Joanna or Robinson in it. And we would just keep going until you could try to stump the next person. So we did a Robinson Cano and then Frank Robinson. We did it. We did this on a road. We would be driving somewhere for
this
3
sounds
hours.
like a road trip game.
We didn't have podcasts to listen to. It's like, let's play the name game. And you'd eventually get to some crazy name like Trajan Langdon. It's like, fuck, I have nowhere to go. I don't know another trade. But that's the kind of shit you did in the 90s.
Yeah.
You're just killing time with content. And you never, you'd hear somebody's theory or take on some movie or a music album or something. Like, that's fucking amazing.
Oh yeah. Well, there was
Now
also
you can find it on the internet anywhere.
there was no comment section. So people would be like, I'm going down in flames with this take.
Yeah.
And
right.
The only comment section is the bar. So I don't have to like worry about this following me around for years if I want to say like this band is better than Pavement or this is a better movie than Apocalypse Now or whatever.
Yeah.
You could just have one glorious night and then be like, oh, I had 4 beers. That's why I thought that. But like now, if you're like High Fidelity is better than Nashville today, people will friggin'
they lose their
at
mind.
you for a while, and like you'll be like, well, that was miserable. I know you don't
drunk
do
takes were
mentions.
huge
Yeah.
back in the
I think
day.
drunk takes still exist. They're just, experienced and
they have
documented differently.
consequences.
They have
Yeah, that's true.
consequences.
Yeah.
I love your point about the people that you're stuck with, though. Like that is one thing that this movie gets really right is the Barry and Dick and Rob trio.
Yeah.
Is like they spend more time together than anybody else in their lives. But like Rob is just like they just started appearing here.
Right. It was supposed to be 3 days a week.
He says that, but he goes out every night with them.
Of course.
You know,
Yes.
it's like,
I mean,
these
you
are
would
his
go
guys.
out every night with your coworkers from the store.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that would be the people who are getting off work at 9:30 or 10. And you'd be like, okay, let's go see a band. Let's go to the bar.
But
like,
then Dick moves to like, I don't know, Austin with Anna and would never talk to these guys ever
oh my
again.
God, yeah.
Never
They would
again.
never connect ever.
Yes.
I moved a lot in my I worked in bookstore all through my 20s and I moved a lot in my 20s and every time I went to a new town I worked in a new bookstore and then you just have built-in community and it was so easy to move to a new town when you have that sort of like retail fam.
Or were you like the Patrick Swayze of Roadhouse of bookstores?
The cooler.
The cooler of the cool stores, yeah.
Hey, Joe Robinson's in town.
Yeah. You can't pin me down, man.
Who was her? Sam Elliott. The Gen X blueprint I wrote down. I might have missed a couple of things. Turning pop culture into therapy.
Yeah.
Reading way, way, way too much into music or movies. caring way too much about a relationship because you didn't have enough else to care about. That was 100% true. We're just missing like 3 things. Hanging out with people you didn't really like that much. We talked about that. Being tortured that you're not doing what you thought you'd be doing, I think probably is still
That's
the
a
case
universal
now.
truth. Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
Gen X was like a badge of honor that I don't want to do this. I don't know how I got into this.
Yeah.
Like almost like proud, but not willing to change
But
it.
it was almost like there's something virtuous about working like retail or something like that, where you're just
Yeah.
like, I'm not making a ton of money. I'm doing this for the passion,
Right.
XYZ. I feel like millennials, when they complain about not being where they want to be, it's like, because the economy screwed me.
Right.
And with Gen X, it's like, because I have principles,
Because I didn't wanna
man.
sell out.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Wouldn't it be
I mean-
nice to have principles, you know?
But think about Rob. He was a good DJ.
Allegedly.
He probably made money
Yeah.
from it. Like
Yeah.
he was getting complimented and,
Well, I have
and
some
he was
notes
the
on that
happiest
later.
he'd ever been
Yeah.
when he did it.
Yeah.
But now he's like in this record store that nobody goes to. And that's just
But
what he
that
decided.
was also like a very, I don't know if this happened with you in the bookstore, but like the moment you get any recognition from within the sort of business side of working in a store, you're like, wait a second. This isn't my life plan.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, when
Hey,
you get, I was also a manager, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want keys.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you should think about
I don't
doing
want
this
the
for a
code.
living. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
2 more blueprint things. Settling with someone solid when you're not sure if you can do better, which was big, even in like Beautiful Girls, where he's dating.
Oh, especially
They're
Beautiful
doing the
Girls.
ratings, and it's like, what is she? And he's like, she's solid 7.5. And they're like, 7.5. And they're like, yep, solid 7.5. And he can't decide if that's good enough. That was a big Gen X culture thing. And then you're the same person you used to be, and I'm not, which Laura says to him
Yes.
was a classic Gen X thing of somebody's like, I'm 32 and I'm doing the exact same things I was doing when I was 27. What happened? 5 years just went by.
And this is like, if you were going to continue the sort of jumping the lily pads from this movie onwards, the man trapped in a boy's
Oh, yeah.
mind thing is essentially the template for like the early Apatow movies, you know, like for Knocked Up and like, I just want to hang out with my friends and just fucking play
Just-
D&D and watch movies. And it's like, yeah, but grow up, right? Like
Right.
you're almost 30 kind of.
When you, to go back to the settling for someone in this movie in High Fidelity, who's settling, do you think?
Well,
Well, I think it's Laura.
It's both.
I think it's both
Yeah.
sides on that one.
It's definitely
Honestly,
Laura.
when she says like, I'm too tired not to be
Yeah.
with you, there's something kind of romantic about that. I don't know. There's something about the comforts of finding your 7.5 out of 10 person.
this is the big weird curveball that this movie throws, is that there is not a gesture in this movie the way there is in Singles, where he's like, I want to be Mr. New to you, you know, like there is none of that here. It's basically like, have sex with me after my dad's funeral and then I
Yes.
guess we're back together.
I guess the
Right.
gesture is I made the tape for the reporter, but it didn't mean
But I
anything
told you
to me.
about
I
it.
told
I
you
told
about
you
it.
I
I disclosed
proposed,
it.
even though I proposed, even though I
Yes.
was pretty sure you wouldn't say yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't the gesture, have sex with me, or I'm going to go home and put my hand in a fire? Or you can put some cigarettes out on me?
Yeah.
Those are my 3
Those
options
are the
right now.
options.
Sex it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ABC.
This is not a romantic movie in the traditional way.
Yeah, no boom boxes in the rain,
no.
just payphones and piles of quarters.
Yeah, I was going to do this on Unanswerables later, but these two do not actually
No.
get married.
No.
I don't
No
think.
chance.
Yeah,
No.
this is a wrap. Craig, can you give us your Gen X thoughts?
About the generation, or
Yeah. Yeah, when you see Gen X represented in movies and TV, what do you see?
well, I don't want to spoil my because
All right, save
that
it.
factors into my entire opinion
All
of
right,
the film.
save it.
Okay.
Great. Okay. I intentionally didn't learn how to pronounce Laura's real
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
name because I
did.
knew I had Joanna here, and nobody pronounces names of actresses and actors better than Joanna.
Great. I'm gonna picture me last night in my hotel room wandering around just muttering this over
I
and
did the
over and
same
over
thing.
again to see if
Yeah.
I can. I came up with Iben Hjejle. That's what I
Yeah.
got. Is that what you got?
I heard Yala. I heard something like Yale. Like
Yeah.
it just depends on the
Iben Hjejle.
Yeah.
how much Danish spice you want to put on that last pronunciation.
What do you have, CR?
Yela, but like
Yeah.
that was just one version of the internet's response to how to pronounce this woman's
Well,
name.
for the rest of the pod, we'll be calling her the lady who played Laura.
I think Iben is doable. We
Iben.
can
Iben.
do
Iben, my word.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, she said,
Also, be very. This is a Scandinavian podcast, and you should be very careful about this
very
whole
fair.
situation.
I don't want the Swedes to
true.
come after me. She said, I knew tons of guys like Rob where it was ages before they understood that relationships and committing and having kids is a good thing. And it doesn't mean that you have to lose yourself for who you are or what you like to do. And then she said, Rob is the sort of character I would fall for. To me, he symbolizes a whole generation of what matters is not what you're like, but what you like. Which I thought was an interesting way to put it.
I mean, well,
The
that's the
things
movie.
you
Yeah.
like, but
That's
my question
textual.
is that now too? The things you like are what you like,
What's
are
the
what you're
difference
like.
between podcasters and these guys in the record store?
It's a great
actually?
question. I don't know.
I mean, we're here because
I'm not
of what
happy
we
about
like,
it.
right?
You know, I'm not happy
Um,
about it.
Yeah, then
yeah.
there's with the Gen Xers, this is a whole different era of hopeless romantics and courting and standing outside somebody in the pouring rain. I don't know if this happens in the same way anymore. Now somebody just call the police or take a cell phone video.
Or you just be on Hinge being like, I'll just
Sorry, dude.
Yeah,
date
Moving
10
on.
other people.
I'm on Tinder. My next question. Did this book / movie create the top 5 list, like for real? Because I'm going to say no, but
This
I
is a
also can't think of what did.
This is a pre-Apex Mountain for top 5s.
Maybe, yeah.
Like Casey Kasem. That's
Did it
Casey
invent the top
Kasem.
5?
yeah,
No, that might
countdown.
be
Yeah.
the
his
countdown.
countdown might have been it.
When does PTI start?
Later, after
Later.
this.
I know they weren't doing top 5s, but they were doing that, like the idea of a countdown and the idea of like a sort of menu for the day.
We would do more arguing one thing against another thing
Yeah.
versus lists.
We weren't
like,
doing a lot of lists. We were doing what's the best.
like you do like I don't know, best Harrison Ford movie, or you do
Right.
Barry Sanders versus Emmett Smith.
Yes.
Right.
Kearns versus Hagler. It was a lot of that. It was a lot of 1v1, not lists.
There was also like I think this movie or this book kind of introduced the idea, to me at least, of, or like I don't remember a time before it, of top 5 track 1, side 1, like very specific lists, and then also adding like sub lists into the list or giving excuses for it.
I
So,
would
yeah.
say that was really influential, at least for me. Like
Hugely.
thinking about like
Sure.
writing columns and being like, how far is too far? And be like, the answer is like, especially when I was doing like the first year of the mailbag or something,
Yeah.
like every question's on board.
Yes.
No answer can be detailed enough, and fuck it, let's go for it.
See,
Because that book is like, the lists are crazy in the book.
Yeah.
The
In a
only
good
reason-
way.
The only reason I think this is not the outset of the top 5s is that Barry in particular has all these like second and third wave opinions about list making.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you can't do the 4 safe ones and the 1 modern classic, or else
Yeah.
I'm going to call you a pussy. So it's like, it's been happening somewhat for a while at this point, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like
It's been iterating.
there's a couple of like big bangs. There's like Tarantino in Sleep With Me doing the Top Gun speech.
I'm so glad you brought this up.
Is like where I first saw the guy in the bar who's like, I have a fucking take that's
Yeah.
gonna blow your mind. And it was like to see that on screen and to know that there were satellite dudes like that in every town.
Well, this is what the Kevin Smith over is
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
It's like just an assemblage of those hot takes.
And kicking and screaming too. And what was the top 8, whatever movies when they did? It's like ding,
Yes.
ding, which was before this movie. But
Yes.
anytime I would see that in a movie, I'd be like, oh, like the Tarantino thing is the ultimate example. That was so great and so random in that movie. And it was like, it became the most memorable part of the movie. But to see somebody do that in a movie, it was like, that's what me and my friends do. We do weird shit. Like,
Yeah.
there's more of us. Like, it was constantly trying to discover that there was more out there than just this little weird group you had.
Yeah.
There was also this
Then
very
it turns out it was everybody.
funny thing, because I think that this is actually similar to what goes on now because we have so much access to streaming stuff. But back then, from the 90s to the 2000s, like in 95 especially on, I remember this huge flood of like used stuff. Like you could basically build up a record collection for like a couple of dollars per LP.
Yeah.
And you could start being like, I listen to Funkadelic and I listen to industrial music and I listen to Public Enemy and I listen to the Beatles. And it wasn't that expensive to have that kind of breadth of taste,
Yeah.
which is why Barry's so interesting because he's got like hipster taste in some ways, but he's also like, I listen to Katrina and the Waves, and Rob, obviously, like the kind of variance of people's tastes was really interesting for those kinds of arguments and those kinds of lists.
I thought of a better top 10, top 5 thing. It was Letterman, the top 10 list.
Sure.
Of course.
That
Yeah,
started
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
85, and that was my show. He did it, ironically, he was
Well,
making the
he's
stupidest list possible, and then they became one of the staples of the show and became a serious thing.
And he's like the Gen X Sherpa.
Yes.
Is
Oh, it's
David
true.
Letterman.
But I wonder, like with Nick Hornby, like did he
What came
even
first,
know
the
about
misery or the
Letterman?
music?
I'm sure he knew about it.
He must have, right?
Yeah.
Rob, can I ask you?
Please.
Is this Rob the top pop culture Rob?
The top Rob?
because I couldn't like
I mean,
Top 5 Robs?
Rob Roy is
Rob
like
Lowe's pretty big.
no,
Rob-
but that's like
a
fictional
character
Robs.
name.
Oh, fictional Robs?
Fictional Robs.
This is gotta be one
Fictional
of the top
Robs.
Yeah.
There aren't that many. I was looking.
Other fictional Robs? I honestly can't.
Rob
think of
Roy
that
was
many.
the only other one I could think of.
What do you mean, Rob Stark?
Rob Stark has
Oh,
two
yeah.
B's. Doesn't count.
No,
Just
two B's.
you in your
count?
hotel room being like fictional Robs and how to pronounce
Iben
Laura's name.
Hjejle. Iben
Yeah,
Hjejle. I have a normal existence, Chris. Don't worry about it.
How do you add the second B with Rob? Did we ever figure that out? Where
It's
does the second
brutal.
B come
It
from?
doesn't make any sense.
It's just George R. R. Martin's way. He likes to add
Yeah.
consonants.
Now
to
is
Does anyone
names.
else do
medievally
the
if
double
you put
Rob?
the second B. Does who?
Like who else does double Rob?
Nobody.
Double B? Anybody?
Well, there's
No.
the Rob report, but that's not Rob. Like that's the
Jen with 2 N's was always at least understandable
Yes.
because it was Jennifer, but it was always suspicious because Jen should have 1 N.
yeah.
So anytime someone added the second N, they were usually on The Real World or a show like that. It's like, oh, Jen with 2 N's. Let's
When
talk
you were
about
bartending, it was like, don't give Jen with 2 N's any extra shots.
Yeah,
Jen with 2
yeah.
N's. Like, oh, she's here tonight. The cast of this movie, that includes Cusack, who I can't wait to talk about.
Hmm.
Jack Black. Todd Louiso.
Yeah.
I never knew his name until the research of this movie. I just knew him as the Manny and the guy from this movie, Manny and Dick. I didn't know he had a name in real life. But he also directed Love Liza, which I found out.
Mm.
Yeah. It's like directed multiple movies. Couldn't believe it.
He's so good in this too.
He's
Like,
perfect.
I know Jack Black gets all the shine, but like having the like
Yeah.
nebbish guy off to the side is like so anxious he can barely contain himself as he's getting the
I have
take
You
other
off.
need
things I need to
him.
talk to him about, so I'll talk to him about that when
Yeah.
I talked about those other
He's
things.
You
putting the
need,
beta
you
in
need
beta
him
band,
to
you know?
make like Barry work.
Yeah,
is what I think,
they have a
so.
beautiful thing going.
Yeah.
It's a good combo.
Yeah.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, Lisa Bonet, Sarah Gilbert. Chris Bowers in this movie?
Cut from the movie.
Oh.
He was cut. I know he's on IMDb, but he is cut from
Yeah.
the
He's
movie.
brief-
Which
Briefly in
deleted
it.
scene is
Is
he in
he?
it?
He's
I
one
thought
of
he
Laura's.
was in it
He's
for a
one of
split
Laura's
second.
friends.
So I think
right?
his initial scene got cut, and then
Yeah.
you see like a 2-second dinner party sequence after they get back together, where he's like bringing a plate to a
okay.
table or
Oh.
something.
Frank Sabaka's here. Great.
Frank Sabaka barely made the
Okay.
cut.
Okay.
Lily Taylor, Joan Cusack, Tim Robbins, and one of my all-time favorites, Natasha Gregson Wagner. Always dug her.
Way to go.
A
Yeah.
primo nepo baby.
Good
Like
get
one
by
of
you.
the best. One of the best.
Just had some moments. Never sure why it didn't fully come together, but I
And
was
she
always
was married to one of the screenwriters for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, great job by her. Okay, so we'll talk about Jack Black here.
Mm.
This is a really important Jack Black performance. He steals the movie.
This is the Jack Black. Like this is to
This
me.
leads to School of Rock. Everything else is this
yeah.
the best Jack Black performance?
I think so. He said this is his best performance.
School of Rock is carrying more though. You know, he gets to come in and be heat checking constantly in this. School of Rock, like he has to be the emotional center of the
Right,
movie
it's gonna be
and
the-
the Jack Black of the movie.
Would you rather have this like version of Jack Black coming off the bench?
Yeah.
And just shooting threes, or do you want Jack Black in the Jaylen Brown Celtics role right now?
I kind of want him in the Jaylen Brown role.
Really?
I
What
mean,
do you want,
only in
CR?
school, only in a specific kind of movie.
I
though.
prefer this version of him, Sixth
Me
Man
too.
Jack Black,
Mm.
but the streets have spoken. And like he is one of the most reliable
True.
movie stars
True.
No,
He's a
I mean,
massive
world
movie
now.
I
star.
think he's the #1 movie star of Gen Alpha, wouldn't you say?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially
maybe
after
even
this
Gen
last
Z.
movie. Yeah.
But like Minecraft, Mario Brothers, Jumanji, like all these things that are directed for kids, Goosebumps, like he's the king of the kid franchise.
Yeah.
And I think for generations of people, Jack Black is the biggest movie star in the
Super
world.
Mario Brothers. Like, I
Yeah.
guess there really is a straight line, not just to School of Rock, but to like Bowser singing ballads. Like,
Mhm.
it's a very strange world we live
I
in.
went to a pre-Luca Lakers game last year, and he got a bigger round of applause courtside than anybody else, like on the floor. And I think
Wow.
like Wemby was playing. Like,
He's, I
Tremendous.
mean, he's easily the biggest like thing to come out of this movie
Yeah.
without question. And then thinking
Well, I
about
didn't know who he was before I
Mhm.
saw this movie. I
Same.
didn't know, like he came out of like a fucking cannon.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Tenacious
Especially
D was
his first
already
scene.
Tenacious D was already on HBO, but like this was like his calling card. Like this was
Which show is he on?
there was a
Yeah,
Tenacious,
Tenacious D show with his
HBO
band.
show.
Yeah.
No, sad. I didn't
do you
watch it.
remember him in the Day of the Jackal remake with Bruce Willis and
do.
Richard Gere, where he gets his arms blown off?
I 100% do. He's also in Airborne,
Yes.
a very important movie to
famously
me.
in Airborne.
You know, if you were ever going to let me pick a rewatchable, it wouldn't be Sicario.
It would be
the
Day of the
Jackal.
Jackal.
Yeah.
I saw Tenacious D at some point after we moved out here when it was the right time to see them. And it was like really amazing. He's just such a great stage performer and
Oh,
it
yeah.
captures it. But I'd still think his best scene's the first scene.
It's one of their
When he
great
comes in
character
and he's
Walking
doing the
on
stuff with his
Sunshine.
hands and There's just nobody like that.
I also just think there's like soul to Barry, like
Yeah.
his ambitions, his disappointment that Rob is willing to back like the teenagers instead of him and all this
Yeah.
stuff
Skater
like that.
punks.
Like I think Jack Black has talked about how he was so nervous to make this
Yeah.
movie. And so I think he's just a little bit more restrained. And I like off the leash Jack Black, but I like just like a little bit of restraint. I'm not sure I can go to 11 in every single moment. I like that balance inside of this movie.
How about Zeta Jones? Where does this rank for her? Because for me, it's like
What's that?
way up there.
I wish she had done more movies like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
come in and
I wish
just-
she had just played more quote unquote normal people.
Yeah.
Where, obviously she just gets cast in a lot of like really big blockbusters and pretty like comic, not comic book roles, but like really out there roles. And this is just like Charlie. This is like a lady that you would know.
She's great. And if I can borrow a Dobbinsism, it's very important. Like her in a Pretenders t-shirt is a very important thing.
This was a specific type of woman that I'm sure still exists that I'd always had my number.
Which like the college version
A
or
Catherine
the
Zeta
terrible
Jones type had your number.
the
I mean, it's
terrible
shocking.
version.
Just you're annoying, and I don't even want to put the 2 hours in here, but you look great, and I'm just glad I'm here. But God, you're annoying. But God, you're great, and just that kind of battle.
Yeah.
And she's not in this movie that much, but she's so good in the parts, and she's so like just phony, and I just knew people like this, and it was, but you couldn't stay away from them.
But I just love that revelation he has because you get
Yes.
the flashback version of her and you're like, you believe Rob that she's the most fascinating person who's ever existed. And then he meets her now and he's like, wow, she's the worst. She's absolutely the worst person.
When she probably was when he was 22.
Exactly.
Like,
but we're just seeing
yeah.
the horny haze.
The great thing for me is that some of these people are still on Instagram now, and you can. They just don't change.
You mean
I would say this is
real
the
life
core.
people
the
Yeah.
real life Charlies?
Yeah.
I would
who
say
were
they're
in
the core of Instagram.
But I mean, they're like in their 50s now, still
Making
being
all the
Charlie.
talk and nod.
They poured
Yeah.
the concrete upon which Instagram is built.
Yeah, they really did. They started it. There's a Lily Taylor cameo. Always fun when the Cusacks are in a movie together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
How mad do you think Piven is that he's not in this movie?
Oof. It's
I had that in
unbelievable.
Unanswerables. Like, they're best friends. And it's a Chicago movie. I don't know what happened. And then my queen, Lisa Bonet, is in this movie.
Incredible casting. Really, really good work.
Unreal.
Pre-LA Law Susan Day, but black. Yeah.
It's a good description. Honestly, it like kind of works.
Post Partridge Family,
Partridge
pre
Family,
LA
LA Law. It's shockingly accurate.
But
The way he
but
delivers that is
Yeah,
so
it's
great.
really
He's
good.
So distracted.
I'm just going
just
to
like
move on.
offhand, tosses it off.
Yeah.
Want to do some Stephen Frears?
I'd love to do
Sure.
some Stephen Frears.
He does Dangerous Liaisons in this movie.
You love Dangerous Liaisons. And one of my
love
I know, we've talked
Dangerous
about this. And one of my
Liaisons.
favorite things, like doing research for this, is how many people
Everyone
lost their
mentioned
shit
it.
about working with Stephen Frears
Yes.
because of Dangerous Liaisons.
Did you
It
skip
was-
the Grifters, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Grifters is in between.
That's the thing. If you put his best movies all next to each other, it's crazy.
Where do
Like,
you rank-
It's like just all over the place.
Where do you rank Mary Riley?
So I never liked Mary Riley. I didn't like Too Skinny.
You have to say it like that because that's how they said it in all
Did
the
you like it?
trailers.
Mm.
No, nobody liked Mary Riley. Julie Roberts doing an bonkers Irish accent.
What was the other one? The big Stephen Frears?
Well, the
My
Grifters.
Beautiful
My
Laundrette.
Beautiful Laundrette. Yeah.
Mm.
Did he do the hit? Is
No,
that him?
I
No.
don't think so. But after this, he just veers really into like sort of Miramax, fuddy-duddy British.
Yeah,
sort
costume
of-
drama,
Yeah.
period piece. A lot
He
of very
kinda-
British movies. This is like the most American thing you probably ever made.
I always wondered whether I was trying to figure out who Jim Broadbent is supposed to be in Jay Kelly, the British director.
Yeah.
And it's like, it
You
has a
think
little
it's
bit of
Frears?
Frears, a little bit of Mike
Frearsy?
Newell, who was also originally attached to this, or Bogdanovich.
Do you think Frears makes a good sandwich? What do you think?
I bet.
Yeah, I bet he does.
Liaisons is on the 26th rewatchable slate.
It's got to be.
Watched it just randomly 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I forgot this movie's amazing. This is like an amazing movie. Anyway, this movie is based on the Nick Hornby book. Obviously, they gave him $500K.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice chunk of change back then.
He is a fan of the movie. It was developed for 3 years with somebody named Mike Newell, who's the director, and beautiful girl Scott Rosenberg,
Yeah.
who was the guy who was dating Bridget Moynihan, or maybe even married to her before Tom Brady started dating him. It was a Boston guy, and it was always like the all-time conundrum. You're like a giant Pats fan,
I'd watch a High
but you
Fidelity
lose
about
your
that.
girl to Tom Brady, your quarterback. It's the great rom-com nobody ever made.
Yet.
Cusack got a hold of it, and they moved it from London to Chicago. I can't wait to talk about some of the Cusack oral history performances. Just wait.
On the edge of our seats.
Just wait. But he said, when I read the book, I knew where everything was in Chicago. I knew where American Rob went to school and dropped out, where he used to spin records. I knew that he does the whole thing. He knew. He just felt like it could all switch over and be a transition, and he was right.
To me, this movie actually is like one of the rare examples of a hipster movie or like kind of cool movie that actually got in under the wire before all the stuff it was talking about was sort of over.
Mhm.
Which is sort of the criticism people lob at Singles, which is like, it feels like they're
like-
like a year behind
Yes.
everything. This was like actually a great time in Chicago music. All these venues were like iconic. Like all my friends who would tour to Chicago would be like, do you think we'll play Lounge Acts or whatever? And the bars, we'll get to all the locations,
Yeah.
but it's a great Chicago movie.
$30 million budget, made $47 million. It's fine. Roger Ebert, 4 stars.
Hell yeah,
Raj?
Raj
Come on.
came in
Came
hot.
through?
He loved this
What
movie.
a shock that Raj liked this movie.
He said, watching High Fidelity, I had the feeling I could walk out of the theater and meet the same people on the street and want to, which is an even higher compliment. Raj was in.
The number of people, probably Roger Ebert included, who read this book or watched this movie and said, I am Rob, is
Yeah.
really fascinating to me.
Probably disturbing as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
totally.
but like the number of guys who are like, that is me. That is exactly me. And I was like, that guy's an asshole.
Yep.
Like an asshole in an arc, but an asshole.
See,
Okay.
you're missing the other piece
I'm
of
not
that.
missing. What am I
No,
missing?
That is the arc. That is the movie.
There was that group,
Yeah.
but there was the other group who was like, I'm not Rob. Why do you think I'm Rob?
Right.
Yes.
And the people who were defensive that they weren't Rob, even though they probably were
We're
Rob.
more Rob than the
Yes.
other guys.
I
By
think
the way,
it's-
that's Chuck Klosterman. Because he literally said, like, people come up to him and be like, you must love High Fidelity. You're just like Rob. And he's like, I'm not Rob.
Yeah.
Just
Maybe
about
they
the
get
meanest thing
pissed.
you could say to somebody.
Yeah,
to be honest
especially
with you.
Chuck.
Oh,
Chuck doesn't want to be pigeonholed by a movie character. But yeah, so those were the two groups.
Sure.
I remember I left Singles.
And then the women saying, I've dated Rob.
Yes.
I left Singles.
Yes,
with-
I dated him and I'll do it again.
I left Singles at the Chestnut Hill Mall and was with a female friend of mine, and we left, and she thought I was
Date?
like,
Okay.
She thought I was like the Campbell Scott character, and it really threw me off for the rest of the night.
Because you thought you were the Matt Dillon character?
I was like, I'm not any of those characters. What are you talking about? She's like, no, you're just like that guy. And I'm like, what? And there's nothing worse than being compared to a movie character when you don't feel like you're the movie character.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But if I wanted to be anyone in that movie, it might be Campbell Scott in Singles.
if you had to pick.
If I had to pick.
I've just ruined
Sedgwick, maybe?
transportation in Seattle, and I just ordering Chinese food every
Dramatically
night.
improved transportation in Seattle.
My thing I spent a year on, it
You have
was
a
a huge
psychic connection
failure.
with Xavier McDaniel. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on garage door openers?
A lot of them. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to do most rewatchable scene. Most rewatchable scene, the beginning. What came first?
Hmm.
The music or the misery? What came first, CR?
The music.
I think the misery came first.
You think that there's something
Because then there
inside
was
of a
music
person
about the
and
misery, which
explains
then
it?
it became a cycle.
But when you're young and you're like, I don't know what I am yet. Maybe you have lots of different feelings, but you can't put words to them yet. And then you see like, oh, look at this really like my friend's older sister who likes the Smiths. What's up with that? Like that's dark. I get it. That's me. You know, like there's a certain kind of like you're basically like molding your personality to the things that you like.
Yes.
I think there's nothing stronger when people talk about music. There's nothing stronger than the song you listened to when you broke up with the breakup song,
Mm.
and what is the song that got you through this breakup, or what is the song that always reminds you of that breakup? And so that's like the epitome of misery and music together.
But the misery came first. before the
But you
music.
mold the music to the misery
I'm
because
just
a lot of
thinking
people,
about-
for a lot of people, to break up
He's
song.
thinking day one.
I'm thinking-
Adam and Eve
I'm
music
thinking,
was
the cave
second.
people
Yeah.
were not like Morrissey. Let's go. You know, it's just not the vibe.
That would have been amazing.
But maybe with their various instruments, they
It's true,
created
banging
their
it out.
percussion
It's fair
version.
point.
Initially,
It's a fair
misery
point.
was first, but then I think as we evolved as human beings,
Yes.
probably the music puts a face on the misery.
Sure. Yeah. Well, so much of our like modern lives is how do we simulate danger? Like we watch sports to get the adrenaline rush, but it's not actually dangerous. And it's like we tap into sad music to feel something immense that's not actually like harmful to us in a way. It's like they're just feelings, they're just emotions, but it taps you into something different. I don't know.
I remember it's funny because they play this song in the movie The River, the acoustic version of The River by Bruce Springsteen,
Yeah.
one of the great concert album moments of all time when he tells the 5-minute story. And I remember driving to Boston to go to a Celtic game, listening to they put out that concert album,
Yeah,
and
the,
he's
East,
telling
the
this
live East
first
Street
time I
Band.
heard this story, and he's like, when I was growing up, there were two things my dad hated: me and my guitar. And he does this whole Bruce Springsteen thing, and you're just driving like this is the. And then you would hear things like that, and they would really resonate in this. You mean Bruce Springsteen was going through stuff in high school?
Oh yeah.
It
Why do you
wasn't just me.
Why do you think they called Jeremy Allen White and not you for the Springsteen biopic?
You think I could have done it, Joanna?
I think you could have
Come
gotten
on,
that
John.
Golden Globe nomination as well. Yeah.
Did I listen to pop music because I was miserable, or was I miserable because I listened to pop music? Was the other part of this?
Mhm.
I would say that's probably 50-50.
Yeah.
I like when he says, if you really wanted to mess me up, you should have gotten to me earlier. Is a great line.
Yeah.
Very normal thing to say
Yeah.
to somebody.
That's we know right away we're dealing with somebody who's messed up. All right, more rewatchable scenes. Jack Black's first scene we mentioned. Charlie, you fucking bitch, let's work it out. Just that little piece. When he's going to see Marie play.
Yes.
And this is so funny when he does the John Dillinger was shot dead behind that theater. You know who tipped him off? His fucking girlfriend. And he just walks in. We get to see Lisa Bonet. Next one, Laura tells the sister the 4 reasons they broke up.
Oh my god.
John Cusack didn't really enjoy that much.
Was
Rob
he like
played-
she may have told her 2 or perhaps all of the following pieces
four.
of
You know what?
information.
If your list is 4 or 5, like it's bad. you
Yeah,
know?
it's like-
Well, because he does the like, I slept with somebody else while she was pregnant, and he's like, "That's 1." I was like, "That's
That's-
1.
yeah.
That's 2."
Where do we go from there? Yeah.
Rob plays the beta band in the store for everybody and then gets robbed. I liked his whole thing about playing the beta band and looking to see who reacted.
It's a real thing.
Classic record
Yeah.
store move.
Hand selling.
Charlie calls Rob back, but then Ian shows up, and then we get the 4 versions of how he handles Ian. It's
Yeah.
great. Laura reading the top 5 jobs. Did you have some notes on that? The top 5 jobs?
I honestly felt very seen by that list.
Rolling Stone,
By the
Rolling
architecture?
Stone, 76 to 79. Producer, Atlantic Records, 64 to 71. Singer, director, and architect. The top 5.
Seemed like a real invasion of privacy, I gotta say. Like that's his list. It was in a drawer somewhere. Why did she even find it?
I think all
Yeah, I
bets
didn't
are
like
off
that.
with Laura and Rob
I mean,
at
that's
that
fair.
point,
Yeah.
in terms of invasion.
you
of privacy.
cohabitate,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Rob and Laura get back together, but he knows some things missing. And then my pick, which would be DJ Rob doing the concert, introing Sonic Death Monkey, who coming off that album with the 2 kids, their song "I Sold Mom's Wheelchair."
Kinky Wizard too.
Yeah. Then Let's Get It On and the Jack Black, and then we get the ending. The last 8 minutes of this movie is fantastic. So that would be my pick. What's yours, Joanna?
I mean, I think you hit most of mine, but I will say that I want to expand on the beta band and say it's just that whole entire hand selling sequence, right? Like Jack Black is hand selling, the Jesus and Mary chain, and Dick is hand selling Stiff Little Fingers, and we're just
Yeah.
like,
Just Joe casually dropping hand selling right here is just unbelievable.
that's what they're
Hand-selling.
doing, hand selling. If you work in a bookstore, music store, you're just sort of like, and I like the different styles, right? Like Rob just plays it passively and he knows he's going to hook people, right?
Mhm.
Jack Black is emotionally manipulating this guy
Yeah.
into buying a stack. And then Dick is making like a very personal like connection with somebody.
Yeah, you make
But
it
that's
so
like-
craven for him. He's making a genuine effort with Anna, you know?
Right, but he's catching some other strays
Wow.
while he does it, right? Is this the new Green Day? So I think that because I think this is such a good retail movie, I think the whole busy Saturday hand selling vibe. Is
Do you
my
have a favorite hand selling story? Favorite like
Yeah, because You can stack anything on staff favorites and it'll fly out the
That's
out the door.
crazy.
Yeah. You can put something at point of sale, it'll fly out the door, you know. Yeah.
CR, I might have been more in it than you, but the bootleg CD culture in
Sure.
the 90s.
Sure. The
In one
live,
of-
the live stuff, yeah. And
There
the
was a
radio
store, actually
broadcast.
in Kenmore Square, there was a store that had a whole bunch of great ones, but they would do the move of, it would be behind the counter. It's the only one I have with the
Wow.
high price.
Oh,
I
it's
can't
like what
sell
Jack
it.
Black does with
Yeah,
Captain
yeah,
Yeah,
Beefheart,
and you would go back. It really worked. You would
Yeah.
go back and be like, "It's still there. You going to sell that yet? I don't know." And then eventually, the fifth time, they would sell it to you for $20.
My
more than
favorite
it's worth.
Yeah,
hand-
what's your favorite?
I was recreationally high on Adderall, and a mom came into Newberry and was like, "My kid really likes corn. Do you have any recommendations?" And I was like, "Your kid doesn't like corn." And I like walked her through like the entire store.
You pulled the I just called to say I
Yeah,
love you
and
move
I was
on
like,
her.
"You got to get him Fugazi. You got to get him this." And I was just like, I just changed that kid's life. And that my mom's like, but in retrospect, I was so high. She was probably like, "I'm gonna call the cops."
I had a woman come in. She was returning like Hunger Games or something like that, and she was like, "This is too violent, and for my kid, I'm bringing my kid up religiously. I don't like this."
Yeah.
So I sold her the His Dark Materials trilogy, where basically like
wow.
they kill God.
Yeah.
I was like, but she won't know that. So that's my favorite hand selling story. She didn't return.
So I did the wine version of that when people order Pinot Grigio, and I was like, "You don't want Pinot Grigio.
yeah.
It sucks.
You're
Get a
just fucking
Chardonnay. You
Obi-Wanning
want
them?
try?
Yeah.
Please try the
These
Chardonnay.
are not the
And if you don't
droids.
like it, I'll get you the Pinot Grigio."
Yeah.
Your favorite rewatch?
I think it's when they go see Marie DeSalle play. I mean,
Oh.
it's got the Dillinger trivia. It's got the Peter fucking Frampton, which is the only way I refer to him by his full God-given name now. It's got daydreaming about liner notes. It's got everybody swooning, and it's got Lisa Bonet in it. Like the whole movie kind of stops for a second, and everyone is just kind of marinating in it together.
It's a great call. It's just, he's making me rethink my choice.
I know.
What do you have, Sierra?
I'm tied between Jack Black entrance scene, which culminates with Cosby sweater,
Yeah.
and the side one, track one, list making with the Captain Beefheart vinyl problem and like that
Yeah.
whole sequence, because that is Jack Black being like, a new classic casually slipped into the end of the top 5 so that you don't look so boring. Interesting. And I just like, that is, you would just have that fight about like the nature of your own list making at that time. And it was just so perfect.
Do you remember before we started Grantland, we went to New York because I still hadn't met a couple of people and we all hung out at this bar. And it was like me and you and Katie Bakes and Klosterman, maybe like 2 other people.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And all we did for 4 hours was shit like this, where we're just arguing about
I was like,
all
is
this
this a job interview? Like, what is happening?
No, and I was just like, oh, this is what Bill's actually like. It wasn't a job interview. Yeah, but it was like, this is what we did. And it was like, it was kind of the vibe that I think we thought might be the website. But it was like, oh, all these people kind of get it. But that came out of like this weird era.
I do have to say the Tim Robbins fantasy sequence, the "Get your patchouli stink out of my store," as someone who worked at Bay Area bookstores for a decade, is my most
Thoughts about patchouli?
that's my most quotable line from this movie. "Get your patchouli stink out
How
of my
many
store."
people did you bash over the head with an air conditioner?
In my mind? Endless.
That was a good job by him, the way he held it up.
Yeah.
What's the most 2000 thing about this movie? I have a few things, but we'll go around. What do you got,
It's
Sierra?
really weird, but I noticed it this time, is that when Laura first comes back to pack up her shit, that's when she gets her laptop. And it reminded me of like, yeah, I leave my computer at work. You know, when I leave work, I'm not checking my email. I'm not like checking the internet.
Oh, right.
And it was just sort of like, if that was now, the laptop would be in her bag first. You know what I mean? She'd be like, I'm taking my computer, I'm taking my phone, and all this stuff. So that jumped out at me.
What do you have, Rob?
Oh, that's a hard look in the mirror. I mean, bands, rock music, I think all that stuff is right there. But also calling the operator to get somebody's home address.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Directory assistance.
Definitely not.
What do you have?
Rob's sunglasses, which I believe are Oakley's, and they're just like right on the edge of 90s and into like 2000 style. They're just like right on the cusp.
That's good. I have the last days of mixtapes.
Yeah.
Describing someone as Sheryl Crowish combined with Partridge Family pre-LA Lost Susan Day but black. I don't know if that would fly now.
Yeah.
Like Craig wouldn't understand any of that. Being tortured by answer machine messages. It's the tail end of that era too.
Yeah.
Smoking indoors.
Well, I was gonna say
Smoking indoors is always in here.
I was gonna ask if any Chicago listeners could just hit us up and let us know. Could you still smoke at your workplace in 2000? Because I don't think so.
If you owned the store,
That is the twist.
That was kind of right on the edge.
But
though.
if you walked into Championship Vinyl and you were just like, these guys have been smoking darts in here with like no windows open.
but don't you know that Championship Vinyl reeks of cigarette smoke, and it doesn't matter when they stopped,
Look,
it
it's
will
implied.
still
Every
smell
single
like that.
person I've ever worked with at a record store were like inveterate chain smokers,
Yeah,
but we did it outside.
sure,
Mm.
sure.
Yeah.
I have two more. Being afraid you'll end up someday working in a Virgin megastore. Very
So funny.
2000s. And then a guy in his late 20s, early 30s named Dick.
Sure.
That guy doesn't exist anymore.
He's named Scout now.
Craig, do you know any Dicks?
Not a single dick.
Yeah.
Bring back Dick,
what I mean.
guess.
bring back Dick.
Yeah, bring back
That's
Dick.
what we're going with.
That's what I'm going with.
All right.
We're going to cut that out for social.
Rob Mahoney.
Yeah.
Quick question: have you ever made a mixtape,
Mixed CD, yes.
but not a mixtape?
And I mean, this will shock no one, but after seeing this movie in high school, I'm like, well, I gotta follow Rob Gordon's advice for you got to start with the banger, you got to lead it off, then you got to bring it back down because you don't want to blow your wad. It was like there is a philosophy to it. I was very bad at it, but no mixtapes, only mixed CDs.
There's just nothing like messing up a mixtape and being like, shit, I got to
It's
start all over again.
so maddening.
I actually
You
found
have to,
my.
like, stop and start. It's like,
I
oh
found
my
an
God.
actual mixtape I made in 1993 that I made it as a Spotify playlist. And here was the order: Feed the Tree by Belly,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Cantaloupe Flip Fantasia,
Yes.
Fuck with Dre Day, Let Me Ride, Geppetto, Into Your Arms, Mr. Jones, Time Capsule by Matthew Sweet, Cannonball, Make You Sweat by Keith Sweat. I don't know why he's on this.
This is so good.
Ordinary World by Duran Duran, Remedy by the Black Crowes, Let Me Go by Cake, Anna Begins, by the Crash Test Dummies,
Yeah.
Loser, Get Off This, Amazing by Aerosmith, Uncertain Smile by the Human Behavior by Bjork, and it ends with Indigo Eyes. And I have no idea. I must have
Human
been
Behavior by
hammered.
Bjork. 93 Bill, just vibing out. It's just-
93 Bill, I think, just trying to prove he had a lot of layers.
Sure.
And
I
I don't know
Yeah.
who he was trying to prove it to.
That's
I
the
can't
question.
tell for me if it's the Counting Crows into Matthew Sweet or Cake into the Counting Crows. Like, what is the most quintessentially Bill?
yeah,
you
that's
know?
all
that,
of
that
Rosetta
we would have
Stone.
been friends when I was 24
Yeah.
is what
Best
you learned.
friends. Yeah.
But
What
he, would,
age?
he would be like, you know what, Pinot Grigio.
And I
Joanna,
would've-
let's try the Chardonnay. What's age the best? Mixtapes.
Have they?
Because of playlists or
I think the mixtape is better than the playlist, and I'm going to make the case. I can do it now.
It takes so
Playlist.
much longer.
Yeah, I get it. Playlist, easier.
Yeah.
Pop them in. Digital. I get all of it. But there's something about the mixtape,
No, I
listening
was
to
agreeing
it
with you.
and not
The blood, sweat,
knowing.
and tears you put
Yeah.
into the tape.
Well, but also not knowing where the mixtape's going to go is the art of the mixtape. And somebody's listening the first time and they don't know the order.
You didn't
why
write
you
out
put,
the tracks on the
You
the
did,
little
but you
like
tell
thing?
them don't look at
Oh,
the
okay.
things, just listen to it and
would
take
you
a
do
ride
cover
on it.
art on the cover of the mixtape?
No,
and
I
then
just would write the
write it
songs.
on
What
top.
did you do?
sometimes I would make like zine style like
Yeah.
cover art. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
CR, fucking renegade, Renaissance man.
I think you
Jesus.
just piloted.
Goddamn, CR!
But how is this not a Spotify feature where you can hide the track list? And so you could be
Yeah.
surprised.
You can
in
make
that
your own
way.
art
Wow.
on Spotify, but you can't hide the track list. It's tough.
That's the next frontier. We got to mixtape this shit.
you gotta
So
call
it's
it-
almost like the vanish text that Apple has,
Yeah.
but for playlists.
You got to hover
You
over it if
vanish
you
the
want to see
playlist.
the
You
list.
should
List.
request an emergency meeting with the top two guys at Spotify.
Gustav,
Have you seen High Fidelity?
I have this great
Hide-
idea.
Yeah, Gustav.
We're gonna revolutionize playlists, and it's mixtapes.
I have a shitload of what's age the best, so give me yours.
I was
and-
gonna. So I didn't know whether to do this here or Apex Mountain, but this is the best breaking of the fourth wall in cinema history.
It's really great.
And with the exception, maybe Ferris Bueller.
Alfie.
Sustained. Okay, yeah. Alfie's up there. I would say this is my favorite. And it shows,
What else is on the list? Singles did it.
yeah, Singles did it. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking momentarily, like in Spaceballs or
Sure.
something like
Yeah.
that. But to have it be, I am just addressing the camera, and
As
you are
the
getting
as your narrator.
my
On the L,
Mhm.
on
Yeah.
the yeah.
Ironically, it was Klosterman's biggest nitpick with the movie.
Really?
He doesn't like the staring into the camera.
I love it because they're using like swaths of the book in
Yeah.
that he's just like reciting the book. But also one of my favorite parts of the movie is when Laura comes back and she hears the fourth wall break.
Yes.
A very Fleabag
yeah.
moment, you know?
And when he wakes up the morning after Marie, he's like whispering it so he doesn't wake her. It's like all that stuff I think works texturally so well.
The time when John Cusack calls him and is like, I don't know how I feel about this Ian guy. And then Marie comes in and he goes out of his office for a minute and talks to Lisa Bonet and then comes back in and he goes, what fucking
Yeah. That was just like in the back and percolating in his brain the whole scene. Yeah.
Could you have done this movie blind?
I'm finding that I don't need to look at my notes very much. Yeah.
What else did you have for What's Age the Best?
There's a very, very cool Cusack moment, which is like I'll give him some honorary dap for smoking here. But the beat that he takes between taking a drag on a cigarette and revealing the 4 pieces of information that Laura might have told Liz is like, it's everything you need to know about Rob, where he like takes this drag and he's like, okay. And he's like, you're an asshole, but not without your charms. And also probably getting laid off the back of a parent dying, because we call this the Jesse from Reality Bites. That was a move back then. Yeah.
Classic move.
What do you got, Rob?
Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On. I mean, only gets better with age, to be honest with you. I think
one of the all-timers.
Vinyl relative to 2000, to your point, Chris, like it has boomed way beyond my wildest expectations, to the point where I never thought I would own a single record. It seemed inconceivable when I was 15 I would ever buy one. And now, you got your tidy little collection of your favorites, and it's like a nice analog way to experience.
What do you have, Joanna?
30-something white dudes talking about records and books and movies.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Welcome to The Ringer.
Exactly.
I have dickheads working in a record store who don't actually care about customers or selling records is a fucking staple.
This is what's aged the best?
Well, because that's the way it was, and the way it probably still is.
This is a perfect balance that we had in this country.
I still think we have
somehow
it.
These places could stay in business.
Yeah.
I don't want to name the store, but I was in a store with Ben, and they were just not interested in selling us anything because they were deep in a conversation behind the counter. And this has been a thing that's gone on for 30 plus years of like, can you hold on a second? I'm in the middle of this meaningless conversation with somebody I work with.
Or were you like, I'm going to get on fucking Yelp and kill these guys?
No, I think it's just the culture.
Yeah.
The people that are in the store aren't in the store to make money for the store. They're in the store because it's a cool job and they get to hang with or whatever. And it's like,
exactly.
Hell yeah, Comrade Bill. Like, power to the people, power to the working
man. You don't make enough money to care. You also don't make enough money to run down shoplifters. Rob does, but the fact that Barry goes, I'm like, you don't make enough money to do that.
The concept of a grown-up Charlie, I just thought was really well executed. What's aged the best? 2 great theories from this movie. Is it better to burn out or fade away? It's just a great question.
With
that's
elite
been in a bunch
Jack
of
Black
stuff.
hand acting as he does it.
But that his Stevie Wonder point is like one of those like, we're going to fight about this for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, I don't think anybody really wants to hear anything negative about Stevie Wonder, but like a dude throwing a Molotov cocktail and being like, Stevie Wonder's greatest failures of the 80s is like, yo, all right, man, you're a
Yes, that was a classic Molotov cocktail point. You're right, which you wouldn't do on the internet in the same way. The other one I loved was Rob's theory about how he tried to move up in weight class with Charlie. And how guys have to punch their own weight. It's like one of the great theories that I've always been jealous of. He's like, what did he say? He was a welterweight or a middleweight?
I think he said he's a middleweight.
He's like, I'm a middleweight. What was I thinking going up in class? I was like, that's fucking great. Katrina and the Waves for What's Aged the Best. I think this was their only song. And it's probably a top 5, the happiest song that anyone's ever made. And you just hear it and it's like, hey, let's go. Sad bastard music. I just like the phrase.
Yeah.
How about movies where there's a cute lead actress and she's really belongs to this movie and I don't know what else she was in? I'm sure she acted in a bunch of stuff.
Like Danish stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she belongs to this movie and when I see her in this movie.
In America, yeah.
Like I'm glad this wasn't like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
You mean Iben Hjejle?
Iben Hjejle.
She's the Gwyneth Paltrow of Denmark, though, you know?
True.
Well, did you read what Freer said about casting her?
Yeah.
that he was like, if we cast an American, she would seem too much like Rob's mom. So we need someone who's like European. Just because Rob is such a man child, and he's like, I need someone who won't feel like she's babysitting
The
Rob.
problem is she still feels like
she
she's
sure does.
babysitting Rob.
She sure does.
Busy coffee houses with people pounding cigarettes, CR.
Yes.
I know you were getting the shakes.
I miss it.
Overqualified stars doing small cameos. I just wish there was more of them. Like, just let's
Tim
get Tim
Robbins-
Robinson when he's
yeah.
red hot.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's going to be in like 2 scenes. Hulu remake show, I think, is aged the best. I liked it.
It's so good.
This is just such
Interesting
a durable
accompaniment.
property. I just
Yeah.
can't believe that they gave up on
Gift
it. And
flushed
Zoe
it.
Kravitz was like, I would still be making that
She was
show
fighting
today.
for it.
Yeah.
Would
That's
Divine
a
Joy
weird
Randolph
one,
have
though,
her
too.
Oscar though? If
Probably not.
High
but
Fidelity
she's
was
like,
still
me
a
and Zoe
show.
Kravitz text each other about how we wish we were still making High Fidelity.
Yeah.
All right, here's my best what's aged the best. There's an Entertainment Weekly 2020 oral history about this movie. And Cusack's on a heat check in it to the point that I decided to create a new award for the Rewatchables called the John Cusack Hero Ball Award for biggest heat check in an oral history anniversary feature. It's unbelievable.
This
So-
can only go to like 3 movies.
Yeah, it might never be given out again.
Yeah.
The cousin to this is the Wikipedia, where somebody involved with the movie clearly wrote a
Yes.
lot of the
Yeah.
Wikipedia,
Yes,
which
yes.
is also one of my favorite. Cusack has quotes in this oral history. These are actual quotes. I knew that Jack Black would be my secret weapon. He had made a movie with Tim Robbins, and there was this sort of actors gang, blah, blah, blah. I knew the secret was that he was a great musician and a great comedian and hadn't gotten a role with like High Fidelity yet. He's got like 10 of those in this, where it's like everything was his idea. He knew this,
Yes.
he knew that, he pulled this off. He got Bob Dylan to give them most of the time. I was lucky enough to be friendly with him. So I called him up. And I said, do you want to be in this movie? Blah, blah, blah. And then he has this quote, my movies, at least the ones where I've been involved in producing or writing or co-creating it, a lot of times they don't get seen or loved right away when they come out. So that's pretty common. But I am proud of it. I put an enormous amount of effort and care into this film. The whole oral history is like that.
Yeah.
He's just heat checking it. I sent it to CR.
It was such a bracing read. It doesn't he also just like I had Springsteen on speed dial. Like I
Yes.
got him.
He
like,
does
Just
that.
called him
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, it's
I mean-
it's a spotty reputation for Cusack. I think
This is-
Piven being his best friend says a lot.
It's
I think.
telling. Did you read the Frears quote where he was talking about working with him on The Grifters, where he's like, I only had 2 good hours a day with John
Yes.
on The Grifters, so we had to schedule around that. He's like, by the time we did High Fidelity, he had figured it out and he could like show up for a full day of work. But on The Grifters, he
Wow.
only gave me 2 hours a day, and that's it.
It's one of it's him and Nicolas Cage, where it's just like it feels like the world is at their feet, and then they go on
Fumble.
to make 6 movies a year that are on Amazon Prime.
Ironically, they were in Con Air together.
Is
Yes.
this John Cusack's last great movie?
No.
I mean,
Malkovich, right?
Hot Tub Time Machine was a massive movie, but that's probably 9 years
Are you
after
stumping
this.
for serendipity? What are you stumping for? Must
Is
Love
Malkovich
Dogs?
after
No,
this or
Malkovich.
before
I was
this?
thinking Malkovich too, but it's 99.
Yeah.
This is
His
the end of the run
adaptation-
for him, though.
Well, yeah, no, I guess like terms of
I mean, adaptation is
star.
barely in.
yeah.
This maybe it is.
I think it is.
I meant to do this before we did the categories about Cusack, just like going back to The Sure Thing. He's in a couple 80s movies even before The Sure Thing. Like he's in Class.
Mhm.
He's in one of the Hughes movies, maybe 16 Candles.
Yes.
Where he's just a party goer.
He's just in the
Yeah,
background.
yeah.
And then he became like a main guy and he did Sure Thing and he's Better Off Dead.
Mhm.
And then Say Anything kind of minted him. And then I think he had a good 90s. But Lloyd Dobler, I think, was a really important character for an entire generation. So I think people gave him a lot of leeway for a long time. And then this movie helped. But I don't think he sustained it in the way I would have predicted.
He just did a bunch of like, I think, bad rom-coms after. Like he took the wrong lesson from High Fidelity, where he's like, I'm a rom-com guy now, and that's
Yeah.
not what is
It
good
was
about
like,
this
I'm
movie.
a rom-com or weird, like,
Day After
psychological
Tomorrow.
thriller guy.
Yeah.
But he probably actually would have been better off. He had a good career, but he probably would have been better off like I don't know, some sort of HBO show and of like being like the big love part and the Bill Paxton part, something like that.
Yes. Definitely Big Love. I
Or Big
think that would-
Sabaka in The Wire. Something. Take a swing, John Cusack.
I don't think that's the one.
Take Chris Bauer's like
Come on.
legacy.
What do you have for Great Shot Gordo, CR?
I don't really. This is a very subtle visual film, but I like this shot of him walking with the Metrograph movie theater in the background and talking about Dillinger.
Yeah. Okay.
There's not a ton of blinding visual stuff in this.
What'd you have for Kid Cudi Pursuit of Happiness or for Best Needle Drop, Rob?
We could do a whole bracket.
Yeah.
I think for this movie, it's hard not to pick Stevie Wonder. Like the closeout song with Stevie Wonder, but I think Bob Dylan coming out of the funeral is also that's a fucking powerhouse.
What'd you have, Joanna?
It's a beta band.
Dry the Rain.
Dry the Rain.
Yeah.
Although, will say, puts the CD in and the song starts 4 minutes into the
I
song.
was going to say the exact same thing. It starts with a hook.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is
Is
like,
that nitpick?
We can't do it.
yeah, it's
And A, you wouldn't do it in the record store
Yes.
with they're such purists, and B, you can't do it on a CD.
No.
Because it's not even a vinyl, it's a CD.
I have Katrina in the Waves because Black switches it and it's like a pure needle drop.
Can I go back to Cinematic Shot
Yeah.
and say when he's on the Kinsey Bridge and the
Oh, yeah.
camera's
Oh, that's a good one.
handheld,
Yeah.
and he's going back and forth, I think that
The 5 things he loves about or misses
he misses about Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you try to pay tribute to that shot when you did your walk and talks in Chicago?
You know, I didn't, but I can claim that I did. All right, we're taking a break and then we got a flex category for CR. CR, flex category, what do you got?
The Den of Thieves Benihana Award for Scene Stealing Location when Rob is going through the 4 things that Laura might have told Liz. It's the Green Mill, which is the bar from Heat.
Yeah.
Thief, sorry.
Blows
From
the
Thief.
fuck up in Thief.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't notice that. Butch's Girlfriend Award, weak link of the film. What do you have, Joanna?
I think it might be Lily Taylor, who's an actress who I love.
First of all, how dare you?
I love Lily
What?
Taylor.
She's
but
so great in this.
I think that character's too real
Yes.
for this moment, like too sad for this moment. And I needed more like Elizabeth Banks and 40-Year-Old Virgin energy, I think, from her. I don't know.
I love the heartbreak. Like her performance messes me up.
Her
every
grabbing
time.
him when they sit down and it's like, are you
Yeah.
seeing anybody? I would say to piggyback off of that, I don't know that Rob reckons with like the wreckage of his, going back through his back pages interviews with these women where it's like, Penny's like, I was basically like sexually assaulted after we broke up. And then Sarah being like, I'm off my meds and unemployed. And he's just like, great. Okay, moving on. We got,
Yeah.
That's
Got
what I
an
have
answer
for,
there.
That's what I have for What's Age the Worst.
The worst,
Yeah.
When she's like, it was basically rape, and he's like, yes, I rejected her.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're like,
Tough one.
Rob.
Yeah, not great.
What's
I
your
have,
weakest link? Yeah.
I think he just ended up with the wrong girl in the movie.
So do you think he ended up with the wrong
I think
girl?
he should have been with the girl from The Reader.
Really?
My girl, Natasha
Wow.
Gregson
Late
Wagner.
breaking Gregson
I just
Wagner?
don't. I think he should.
just like
I
the
think he should
chemistry.
have chosen himself. I don't think he should have wound up with anyone.
Yes.
I think he should have kicked the tires with the Reader girl. I thought,
But
they-
he's already back together with Laura when that
He is.
starts.
It's your girlfriend.
but that should have been the sign, though.
Also,
He
the
was
Did
only
just
with her
hop-
'cause he
hop
didn't have
onto
anything-
someone new.
He was only with her because he couldn't think of what else to do. But then he clearly had this other person who was like, "This is like my soulmate here."
but
No,
that's
she
the
likes all the
impression.
same
You
things
think
I
that
like.
every
That is not
time.
his soulmate.
His whole point is that, of
She's-
course, you're going to meet somebody
Yes.
and they're going to be distracting and they're going to be like the tantalizing new thing.
What was
you're
distracting
just
about
gonna
her? She
wind
was
up-
great.
Yeah.
What was the
Because he hadn't
downside?
seen her everyday
So-
underwear.
Yeah.
Only her lingerie.
Yeah.
They only
Total
have the cute
package.
problems, like buying each other the same Christmas present. You know, it's not a real thing.
What's going to happen when the Chicago Reader negatively reviews the CD single he's put out? And
True.
he's just like, what the fuck? You know?
Just
Also-
thought she was a good calming presence
No,
for
but
him.
I feel like if he hops to the next woman, there's no lesson learned. Back with Laura is a lesson learned, but I think the real lesson Laura should not have come back.
Well, so I had that in Unanswerable Questions. Is this a better movie if he ends up with nobody at the end? And I think if they make it 10 years later, I think that's how it ends. I don't think he
It's
ends up
500
in,
Days of Summer.
Yeah.
right. This is
Minka Kelly.
well, in the last 20 years, we have shifted to it feels like a rom-com, but we are not going to give you the
Yeah.
happy ending. We're
Yes.
going to actually give you
The problem now is like we have so many movies in which they choose themselves at the end, and I think
Yeah.
it's like it's so therapized in terms of the Robs of the world now in films and TV like have to work out their problems in a real way.
Yeah.
This is so incremental.
Guys
It's like,
should not be in therapy. They should DJ.
well, this is a man's journey to thinking about a person for literally the first time who is not himself. It's like the revolutionary idea is I'm going to make a mixtape of stuff she likes versus
Yeah.
what I like.
Can we bring
Crazy.
back? Can we bring back the hottest take so CR can do a whole men shouldn't be in therapy, they should DJ episode?
I think it would fly.
You know who created I Choose Me?
Who's that?
Joanna knows.
I know, it's Kelly.
Kelly Taylor, 90210.
Yeah.
Sent Dylan and Brandon pack, and she's like, I choose me.
I think it should be a category. The Kelly Taylor,
The
I
Kelly
choose,
Taylor, I
I
choose
choose
me.
me
Do you
category.
guys think that the Rob and Laura getting back together works within the context of the movie being satisfying, even if you don't think that they belong together?
Well,
I do.
What I think is interesting, and I think this is true, I did not reread my copy of High Fidelity in the last 48 hours, but
If you just had one more night in the hotel
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Iben Hjejle, as I turn the pages. Rob doesn't do his career shift in the book. Like Laura comes back, but he doesn't have this like, and now I'm a music producer. And I think that's an interesting ad of just like this is
They hint at
another
it, but yeah.
this is another area of growth for Rob as he is sort of like growing in his career, and Laura comes back. So it's like he's evolving in multiple ways.
It's what's funny is we all had the couples in our lives where they got back together like this, and you're like, they're not going to make it, but then they end up getting married and having kids and then getting divorced.
There's a deleted scene. There's a
let's
lot of
talk
great
about
deleted
this.
scenes,
There
but
really
there's
is.
but there's one where Laura is talking to Liz, to Joan Cusack's character, and she's like, maybe I should go back just so that he can break up with me and then it'll be easier. And Liz is like, that's demented. And she's like, I know, but like that would just calm everything down if I
Right.
just go back,
Incredible.
let him break up with me,
That
and then
is something that people used to think back then, though, where it was like you just didn't have enough feedback. So you were like, maybe what I'll do
Right.
is like, we want to have sex for 3 weeks
Yeah,
and see
yeah.
what
Yeah.
happens.
so that might, there's an interpretation. If that scene stays in the movie, there's an interpretation of the ending of like that's just what Laura's
Yes.
doing.
What
is,
was
like-
the other deleted scene? That's the famous deleted scene.
Well, there's a couple. There's Beverly D'Angelo with the
Right.
The record collection.
the record collection, which in the TV show was the
Yeah.
Parker Posey episode, which was
Yes.
so good. And then there's
Harold Ramis.
Harold
right?
Ramis is
Harold
his dad.
Ramis.
Yeah.
There's one where when the reporter asks him to give his top 5 records, it turns into like a full-blown nervous breakdown where he goes home
Yeah.
and has to like revisit and keeps like calling her back to add more records to
Yeah.
the list. There's a lot of really fun stuff.
There's
honestly.
a direct address that I kind of miss, which is like he's talking to the audience and he's like, yeah, you think I'm an asshole. He's like, okay, take a moment, write down the 5 worst things you ever did to your partner or never told your partner. And then he like, next scene, he's like, do you write them down? All right, who's the asshole now? You know, and so it's just this like interesting relationship he has with
It's a good
the
one.
viewer where he keeps saying like, yeah, I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
But to your point earlier, it's just like, I feel like he wants the viewer on his side.
Yeah.
And that's really demonstrating that.
I think they do a really good job of not like almost not quite needing that because the movie undercuts Rob all the time. Like he'll go on some super self-indulgent tangent and then like a dead body at the funeral goes underground.
Yeah.
And it's like this fucking guy. Like there's so many ways where they point at him and so many characters who are constantly making fun of him for who he is that the movie is judgmental of Rob, even if Rob himself isn't calling stuff out directly.
In the oral history, the actress who plays Laura
Iben Hjejle.
Iben Hjejle.
talks about the sex scene with Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
And how it was fun because they were like, this is what's happening inside of Rob's head. So it's
Yeah.
not like a real sex scene. It's supposed to be what's tormenting him. And I was like, I wonder how many of these scenes you could view as like an unreliable narrator telling you about them. That being said, I don't think the film itself tips its cap towards that very often.
Yeah.
So I do take the movie at face value when it's depicting events. But like,
I think
for
the
instance,
flashback stuff,
yeah,
you're like, that's through a lens.
For sure.
also
Yeah.
aged the worst. But yes, yeah.
Also, for what's aged the worst, the semi-stalking, the mean-spiritedness, the misogyny. We got to throw that in, but that was the 90s.
Rob ages the worst. Rob is a character.
Rob is a character.
Yeah.
Charlie, you fucking bitch. Let's work it out.
Yeah.
Is one's the funniest and most disturbing thing in this movie.
We got to talk about Cusack's hair. Every time Joanna's on, somehow we
know.
get into the hairpiece thing.
The last time it was Robert Redford in your crosshairs. Now it's Cusack. Tell me.
R.I.P.
Never really answered.
No one has
I had
definitively
a couple
answered the
people in
Redford
my life
question.
sending me different screenshots
Yeah.
of him in the early 70s, but nope, we'll never know.
I stand by it's a dying problem, not a
Like a wig
Peace
or
problem.
Well, Cusack had the combo of he's wearing wigs in the movies for the
Yes.
throwback scenes, but then it's the real Cusack, and it's like, oh no, it's a lot of that. I don't know what's going
You
on.
think he has fake hair just as Rob?
In present tense,
present day Rob.
Well, he definitely added hair from the Say Anything kind of early. Con Air was when it was, we talked about it in the Con Air
Right.
podcast. he comes
wonder-
in with the full mane and Con Air.
There's a lot of not continuity problems, but like stuff shot out of order in the sense that you can tell like he's changed his hair since they shot the exterior
Right.
to the interior. And I wonder if it was just like that's not a huge concern of this movie is like how his hair looks. You know,
I have another What's Age the Worst. Springsteen's cameo just isn't that good. I just wanted more
I
from
like
it.
it.
It's fine. Dude,
And-
Bruce Springsteen, can you come up with better than whatever he says?
Two things. So it sounds like you guys read an EW. Did you read The Consequence of Sound?
I did.
Yeah, which was like constantly reloading. Did you have that issue?
I also had that issue. We got to talk to the server people at
Yeah.
Consequence of
It's
Sound.
just
Really
all
tough.
websites right now.
But they talk a couple things about the Bruce Springsteen cameo. One, they claim that Bruce himself is the one who punched up that line where he's like, "Oh yeah, you'll feel better. They might feel better." that was like a Bruce
maybe
ad.
they feel better.
Yeah.
You definitely feel better.
yeah. Where he's like, no, it's not that they'll feel better. And so, and then also for copyright reasons, they
Yes.
had to have Bruce noodling something unidentifiable so they could use it
Yeah. So
because they
they
didn't have to pay for it.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they made him say on camera,
Are you-
I'm just making this up as I'm playing it so
Oh,
that
I
they
wish
could like
that
send it to the
'cause
record
I would
company.
figure if they paid for the river, they would have just like paid for. Maybe he could have
All
just been playing.
mishandled. Have him actually play one of his songs. Play something from Tunnel of Love.
Well, then your budget goes up from 30 million to something
Yeah,
higher,
it's
and you're
fine.
47
You got
million
fucking
taken
Tim Robbins
margin.
in this movie. You're fine. Scott Rosenberg wrote the original draft, set in Boston, CR.
Yeah,
How crazy would that have
that would
been?
have ended our lives.
And then they moved it around, and then somehow he ended up getting a writing credit anyway. And then my last one for What's Age the Worst. This movie did pretty well, which led to Fever Pitch and Jimmy Fallon being on the fucking infield grass as the Red Sox won their first World Series in 86 years, and I'll never forgive anyone for that. But if this movie doesn't do well, maybe that doesn't happen. So What's Age the Worst for me, Joanna? Get Jimmy Fallon off the fucking field. My team just
Keep
won the World
Fever
Series.
Pitch in the UK.
Yeah,
Yeah.
punish
Yeah.
Nick Hornby.
We'd already made Fever Pitch. Why are we making this again? The Ruffalo Hand and Rubeneck Partridge overacting word. It's Jack Black, but it's
I'm
not
fine
an
with it.
insult.
Well,
It is Jack
don't,
Black.
Don't
He's
take it the
awesome.
wrong way. I mean,
Yeah, it's a
Julianne
compliment.
Moore, Saul Rubeneck, we're fans.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
a fan.
It's
Complimentary.
also Tim Robbins, but I'm also not mad about
Yeah.
it.
Tim
Yeah,
Robbins is
it's
good
all
too.
fine.
I do think Natasha Gregson Wagner, who plays Caroline Ford, is the
Careful,
reporter.
Rob.
She,
This is your first time.
time, last
Don't
time
make your
on the
last time.
Rewatchables.
Careful,
I'm just saying,
Rob.
her flirt dial is cranked up so high she forgot how to be a normal person.
Yeah, that
And
was a
it's-
definite like, is
it's-
this happening in Rob's head?
it's
kind of
weird.
thing.
Yeah.
Some Olivia Nuzzi, like
Oh.
journalism ethics
Ooh.
questions.
Wow.
We're getting
Got
topical.
those
Over to
tensions.
current affairs here. Oh, Jesus. That was great.
She's been relieved from her post as West Coast editor of the
Yeah.
Reader.
Joanna's got a flex category.
Okay. I was tempted to do the category that I invented, which is would a cell phone ruin this movie?
Mm.
I would say social media would ruin this movie.
Yes.
We all know too much about our exes
Yes.
already or whatever. But I'm actually going to give it to the Big Kahuna Burger, best use of food and drink, is when he says Laura's dad died. And Jack Black goes, "Oh, drag," and then just chomps on a burrito. And it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
drag. And then just like a massive chomp of
That's a good one.
of like a $2.99 burrito. I would
Barry's
say.
whole reaction to her dad dying of like top 5 songs about death, a Laura's dad tribute list.
And then
Yeah.
all the guys in the record store are like, okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's
solemn
go.
acceptance.
I
Sure,
mean,
yeah.
tell Laura I love her. Absolutely. Bring the house down.
CR, what do you have for the CR? Thinks Luke Wilson could have been Harrison Ford. Hottest take a word.
I have two. I wonder if Joe and I are circling the same thing, which is kind of the TV show. I don't know if it's better than the movie,
Whoa.
but I think it had legs. My hottest take is that there's just no way Rob and Laura even get back together,
Yeah.
much less stay together. And that, first of all, the Marie stuff comes out. Fucking one day, Barry's like, "Hey, this is Marie DeSalle. Remember when you were sleeping with her for like a couple weeks when you
Yeah.
and Laura broke up?" And
You
that
fucking asshole.
and I just don't think I'm making a mix CD for the Chicago Reader Music Critic
No, it's a wrap.
mixtape.
She's
She's
getting her
not.
stuff
She's
again.
just like, oh, cool.
it's done.
Like that's not happening.
It's
so,
done.
Yeah.
It's a wrap when he's caught making the tape.
I don't know that I would say the show is better, but because by the nature of television, it just has more time
Yeah.
to luxuriate in the side plots, like I'm selling my
Yes.
terrible ex-husband's
I'll
record
say it.
collection.
None of you guys have the balls to. The TV show is better than this movie.
Ah,
And I like this movie. The TV show is better.
It's not a
And it's
balls
an absolute
issue.
it's absolute crime
Yeah.
it is
that
a crime.
they canceled it.
I
It's
loved
fucking
that
bullshit.
show.
Yeah.
That
I
show
loved
was
that show.
good.
The show is good.
And
Really
it
good.
would had to have been COVID
And
because
it was also like
otherwise.
the best possible. Like Zoe Kravitz got to do. Like you just got to see her do everything.
Also,
in that
no
show.
offense to Hulu, but I'm going to offend Hulu. Like, you're not exactly the 96 Bulls.
Great use of
Like,
Jake Lacey in
You-
that show.
it's not like, we have to cancel this because of all of our other awesome shows here
Yeah.
on Hulu. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
So
Lizzie Moss needed more money for Handmaid's
I
Tale
know.
season
It's
7.
ridiculous. They have like 3 good shows a year,
Do
max.
this to Iger next time you see him at a Clippers game.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How do they cancel this? Zoe Kravitz?
They fucking blew it. Like they really had it in their hands. And again, there's no reason to not let it play out. But
Also, not a lot of people at Hulu in 2019. Like, it was still. I don't think Hulu is where it is now. Handmaid's Tale was like one
I
of
think
their
everyone
first
was
hit
watching
shows.
Normal People on Hulu and
Yeah.
during COVID.
I certainly was.
Yeah.
Absolute bullshit.
You're not a normal. You're not a normal people head.
I
Not a
don't
Sally
know.
Rooney guy.
No, I don't know the story behind it, but I guarantee it's like whoever ran Hulu got fired and it was their show and the new person came in. And it's like, well, that's not my show. I don't get credit if it does well.
Yeah.
And they just got rid of it.
I also
That's what always happens.
I think in terms of scope too, one way that the show would work better. I saw this quote from Ryan Coogler this morning about like he's adapting
yeah.
the new
Cougs.
X-Files thing.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how someone in TV had told him TV is about like the most important journey in somebody's life, and a movie is about the most important moment in somebody's life.
So good.
The most important moment for Rob is at the end when he's like, I cannot believe I've been putting everyone at a distance. I haven't committed to anything my entire life. It's this huge revelation in the rain, and his life changes from that point forward. But he needs more time to actually become a not shitty version of
Yes.
Rob.
yeah, you don't need to hear Jack
Yes.
Black playing music for 2 minutes to be
No.
like, I found the light.
And so if you play it out over multiple seasons in a TV show format, like this is a journey story, not a moment story.
There's also like
ultimately.
it would have just been
Yeah.
cool if they were more realistic. Where it's like, well, okay, after he covers Marvin Gaye and you do one record release party, like now what?
Now
You know?
what? Yeah.
Now what?
Your take, did you have a hottest take?
I agree. Just like Laura should say, Laura should not have come back. I will say this movie does some things for Laura that the book doesn't. Like we're at least in her POV sometimes. Like there are scenes of Laura without Rob. And the moment where he's crying for her at her dad's funeral does a lot of work for me. But in general, Laura should not have come back, I think.
Did you do yours?
I have one. The top 5 you were talking about earlier, Chris. The top 5 side 1, track 1 debate in the record store. The problem
Thunder
was,
Road not being on it?
well, no, the problem with "Smells Like Teen Spirit" being on the list is not that it's like a cliche pick. It's that song kind of sucks and nobody wants to talk about it.
This
But
is your hottest take?
This is my hottest
Holy
take.
shit, Rob!
Is it like at the risk of never
Remember
coming
when you were
back on the
like, remember when
rewatchables?
you were like, comment sections have killed the hot take, essentially. Here comes Rob with "Smells Like Teen Spirit" is bad, actually.
Look, this is the Gen X divide. Honestly, it's
Wait
like
a second.
yeah.
I've been listening to you
Let's
on
do it.
group chat for like 4 years, and you're just like, yeah, you know, there's a lot to like about the Bulls, and
Yep.
then, but you're coming for fucking Kurt Cobain.
I have
Smells Like
better
Teen
things to
Spirit.
say about Io DeSumo than I do about "Smells Like
Yeah.
Teen Spirit." To be honest
Hold on.
with you,
Tell me more about why that. Tell me more about that. Why that
in my
song
chest.
sucks.
So it's,
I mean, I think there's
fine.
like the emblematic bigger thing, which
Uh-huh.
to me, grunge feels so put on. To me, the ethics of grunge do not feel authentic. They don't feel
Wait,
lived or
now you're
earned.
coming for the entire ideology?
Well, so I'm starting big, and then
We
we're
have to
zooming
dig.
in.
We have to dig on this
Yeah.
take,
Who
CR.
hurt you?
Like we start there, and then if I were to pick a grunge song, it wouldn't be Nirvana. If I were to pick a Nirvana song, it wouldn't be like the nonsense radio play Nirvana of all things. Like I just do not like that song.
wow.
I'm speechless.
I don't know.
This is tough.
Well, that's it for the Craig. What did you think of the movie? Wow, that was
my
great.
God.
Great
Damn it. We
moment.
may have to rename this category to Rob Mahoney thinks Nirvana smells like
I
Teen
think
Spirit.
officially we
It's
do.
wildly overrated.
I'm
Overrated.
sorry.
Not even overrated, just sucks.
I think it kind of sucks.
Dude, you would
See,
have
are
done
you
very
ready
well.
to pass the category
Yeah,
over?
you
Yeah,
would have done
wow.
very well in bars in the 90s.
Rob
and 2000s.
Mahoney.
Chris,
The
thank you.
Rob Mahoney
Teen Spirit sucks,
smells like
actually.
Teen Spirit sucks.
I feel like Rob is like Rocky. He's been fighting right-handed this entire time. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Oh, man.
what's Rob's hottest take gonna be? Like, you know,
Yeah.
like,
It was funny because I thought I had a pretty hot take, and now I just feel like
Tepid. A
I'm just
tepid take compared to what
following
Rob just said.
greatness.
Yeah.
I just don't think the music's good enough for this movie.
whoa, what?
Yeah. I think it's the biggest reason it was a rewatchable for me, but not like one of my movies. Because I thought it got too deep cutty.
Did you own the
and
soundtrack?
I did, but I actually now probably prefer listening to like. There's a lot of playlists of
I agree.
all the songs mentioned in the book and in the movie, and also in the TV shows.
Here's
like,
me wandering around saying Iben Hjejle in my hotel room, and I listened to the official, and I was like, this isn't satisfying. And then I listened to like one of those playlists that
it's just not that good, and I think it could have been like one of the great soundtracks of all
I will
time,
say,
and it's not.
To the movie's credit, a lot of the music is diegetic, where it's like it'll be like playing in the store at a certain volume. So like they could have had any like they could have had the greatest collection of songs ever. But I think they used music functionally in this movie rather than like Dazed and Confused, where it's just like, this is the fucking best song at the best moment.
I just think these guys would have been listening to more music from the last 10 years. They're doing this in 2000. I think the 90s, that was like one of the great decades of all time.
I know, but like
this is one of my
you're
pick
trying to
nits.
sell the new shit.
I get it. But this is one of my pick and nits, though.
Okay.
I'll do them now as part of my hottest take. The Smashing Pumpkins not being in this movie is outrageous. They're a fucking Chicago band. It's 2000.
I think
they just had this crazy run.
There was a touchy relationship between the Chicago music scene and Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Billy Corgan in the Springsteen spot, I don't know, makes more sense.
You want Billy Corgan in for the boss?
That's the sage advice you want?
Yeah, I want Billy Corgan in here.
Hey, the world is a vampire. So
I
don't
don't
worry
want
about it.
anything from Billy Corgan.
No.
He's so weird. It's a better cameo.
Oh my
So
God.
you don't think the Chicago Pumpkins piece?
I just think that there's like the bands that they're championing are like Touch and Go and Drag City bands.
I get it.
Real jockey
So the
bands.
Pumpkins are like the sellout band?
Kind of. Yeah.
Well, they're only one of the best bands of the 90s. So
Billy
I don't
Corgan,
know.
I will say that Billy Corgan would not have aged
Under
well.
attack today.
They pick the boss, and anyone watching now knows who Bruce Springsteen is.
Yes.
But anyone young watching now does not know who Billy Corgan is.
Yeah, but that's the thing. In 2000, I don't think these guys are listening to Bruce Springsteen.
But if they're
Do
rock
you?
critic adjacent geeks who care a lot about like music history canon stuff, like The River is a very important record.
But you
Like
don't
he pulls up his Fleetwood Mac album. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he's
Yeah.
talking about
But
Landslide.
you guys
like,
don't think he
listens-
wouldn't have cared about the 90s stuff too? I feel like he
But
would
he does care about the 90s
Yeah.
stuff. He's playing Beta Band. He's like,
Yeah, but that's my point. He's going like the old stuff is like the most famous people possible, and then the new stuff is like the deepest possible.
So you want
But
an
I don't know
older,
what his
older,
2000
deeper
I don't
cuts?
understand his taste.
In
You want
2000
older, deeper cuts or mainstream current? Is what you're saying?
Whatever he's doing are two separate things at the same time, and I didn't
But
understand
a lot of older music genres and like bands were getting kind of rediscovered and like appropriated by younger people because you could buy their albums for $3. So I remember like for most of my life, I thought Fleetwood Mac was like soft rock that I didn't listen to. But then when you can get their records for like 3 of them for $10, and you're like, oh shit, there's like really good songs on Rumors and Tusk. Like that's how like that stuff kind of like was.
Yeah, but I'm
I'm
the
about-
same age as the guy in that movie. And by the time you're 30, you're not listening to The River anymore. You're listening to like For You by Springsteen. Like you've moved on to deeper cut Springsteen. That's the part. He's still like basic Springsteen, but Springsteen's been in his life the whole time.
Isn't that kind of the formula though? It's like the old stuff is the canonized stuff. And then the new stuff is like you are digging deep into the bins to find what is like hyper specific to you. That feels coherent.
I hear
to
what
me.
you're saying though.
I don't know how you're mass appeal on one side and then deep cut on the other side. Seems weird.
He contains multitudes.
Wow,
I'm
we
just
really
glad that like
sidetracked this
whoever they
pod.
picked isn't massively canceled now, so that like Rob isn't like I'm dealing with like.
Casting what ifs. Jack Black passed, and they just basically bullied him into doing it. The role of Dick was originally offered to David Arquette.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm going to give that like a small scale yikes.
That's way worse.
Yeah.
Liz Phair
That's the one.
was considered for Marie DeSalle.
We'll never know.
That's a totally different movie.
What about Bob Dylan for the boss? If it's Dylan instead of Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, I just don't think he ever does it.
No, he wouldn't. But like, would that have Billy Corgan or Bob Dylan? Is my question.
If
for
that's
you.
the binary,
I
we
just
know
think
where
Billy
we're falling.
Corgan's so weird. Springsteen wasn't weird enough. I think Bob Dylan is weirder, so he's probably better than Springsteen.
Lisa Bonet is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. I probably would still throw my life away for Liz Phair. I gotta say.
They talked about
CR's
how
like, fucking run. This is my jam.
they talked about how hard that part was to cast, and I think there is something at Lisa Bonet specifically versus Liz Phair,
Yeah.
which is Liz Phair's great, but she needs to feel, Marie does, like an alien to Rob.
Yeah,
like she
like,
needs to
how
feel
is
like from
this
another
happening?
planet,
Yeah.
and that's not Liz Fair's whole deal.
CR, who are your 90s female musician, Throw My Life Away? Who's in your inner circle for that one?
Well, like I like Liz Fair's definitely like the number one seed. She's Gonzaga.
Number one.
I think
Zags.
so. There was a lot of like fleeting, like this is a strange conversation to be having in 2025. Like
Well, I want no.
Sarah Shannon from Velocity Girl. Like,
I'm
not
saying
sure, like,
in the mid 90s, who were your Throw the Life Aways? That's not a strange conversation. Liz Fair was up there.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The girl, like this lead singer from Velocity Girl, would be another one. I don't know if you liked them.
Juliana Hatfield was from
Yes.
the Boston area, so she
Yes.
was a big one for us. There's a couple others. We really sidetracked big time.
Bill, do you have any other names in burning a hole in your pocket that you
No.
want to get
That
out there?
feels like a question you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
me to ask
yeah,
you.
yeah, exactly.
We need to reflect it back to you.
Bill,
You
Tanya
know,
Donnelly, like what else?
You were locked in
would you
Loaded
care to go
move
to
on.
therapy or just
I'm gonna
become a
move
DJ?
on.
What are we
I
gonna
lost-
do?
We're
Okay.
moving.
Lost track of where we were. Oh, you mentioned Harold Ramis, Beverly D'Angelo.
Mhm.
Rob Cusack said he wanted "I'm So Tired" by John Lennon for this key scene when Rob finally proposed to Laura and they couldn't clear it. John Lennon was also dead at that point, but also I think would have told John Cusack to fuck off, would be my guess. Best that guy. Todd Louiso counts, right?
I think so.
No, does anyone know his name's Todd Louiso? I see him and I think he's the Manny from Jerry Maguire and
Yeah.
he's from this movie and that's how I know him.
I actually, to this point, think he's such that guy. His name is Todd Louiso, I think. At least that's how John Cusack pronounced it.
Iben Hjejle.
Yeah.
But there's a better that guy than him.
Alex Desert
Yeah.
Alex Desert.
Yeah.
from
From
Becker.
this place
He's
he's
really
in
good.
anyway.
From PCU. Yeah.
Yeah.
He needed 2 more scenes in this movie.
Swingers.
Like, why isn't he a
He's-
part of all the arguments?
He's in for 2 minutes and I'm like, can he come back?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I don't know, he got cut. This place is dead anyway, CR.
Yeah.
Deion Waiters Award, Alex Desert, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Lisa Bonet, Tim Robbins, or Natasha Wagner.
I think it's Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I think it's Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Strong agree.
What do you think?
She's great. Did
I
we
also
talk
think
about Lisa
Springsteen's
Bonet
great.
enough?
Lisa
We-
Bonet is amazing in this movie. And I was watching this movie with someone who's younger than me, and she was like, "Is that Zoe Kravitz?" I said, "No, Zoe Kravitz is not old enough to be in this movie." But yeah, she's absolutely smoke show in this movie.
I don't think anyone's ever looked more like their parent than Zoe Kravitz. In this
It's funny
movie.
because we did this
They
last
look
week with
exactly alike.
we did this with Cameron Crowe. We were talking about Kate Hudson, Goldie Hawn, how
Oh, sure.
crazy it was that a mother and daughter that could have played each other's
Kaya
roles.
Gerber is like
And this
the
is
one
the
for
same
me.
thing.
I can see that one for
Yeah.
sure.
Kaya Gerber, but I think interestingly in the Nepo Baby world, that Zoe Kravitz has cultivated looking like her mom. Because like when she first starts in like X-Men and stuff like that, like she doesn't really look as
Yeah.
much like her mom as she does now.
This is the new frontier. You got to lean into it. You got to lean into it
Why not?
super hard. You got to wear it. You got to style yourself similarly. I think it pays off more than people think.
She's one of my true queens, CR,
Zoe
along with
or Lisa?
Lisa,
Yeah.
along with
Do you
Michelle
think she
Pfeiffer,
was aware of the Cosby joke in this
Diane
movie?
Lane.
The Cosby Sweater joke?
Yeah.
Great question.
Oh,
Little side swipe.
she probably supported it.
Yeah.
What if it had been Cosby instead of Bruce Springsteen?
I think they may have re-edited that. They would have been like, "Can we get Corgan still?"
Is Corgan available?
Recasting couch director City. I'm just throwing this in quick. Can we test drive? Just hop in the car with me for Samantha Mathis as Laura.
Oh Jesus!
Just quick drive around the block with that thought.
But then I get very defensive.
Who comes up in this category more than Samantha Mathis?
I know. I keep trying with her. I just thought it was a little throwback to the early 90s of Gen X.
We were
We
talking
come
about
all
her
the way
because we were talking
around.
about River Phoenix on the Sneakers Pod and their country music movie that they made together.
What about Laura Linney? I was trying to think like who could,
Early Laura Linney.
She's in Congo by now.
so
right?
this is like
No,
you can count
she's-
on me
no?
era. Like I'm already like she's already
Congo's,
babysitting
like,
Mark
90
Ruffalo.
Yeah, early 90s.
Oh, so she's
Yeah.
in the mix already.
I think like she could really nail this part. The
She's-
question is, can she be
she's
the
like-
partier Laura?
She's like
I
a
don't
whisper
know.
away from Love Actually.
Yeah.
Right?
The only other
That's a
one, if
good
you're
one,
going to
Rob.
keep,
Nice.
if you're going to keep Laura being from Europe, what about Famke Johnson?
Ooh.
Wow.
That's powerful. That's a lot for one movie.
She's
Good
Jean graying.
Too
She's
much.
Jean graying really hard at this
Rounders
moment.
and High Fidelity
Too
in a
much.
2-year run.
I think you're bringing too much firepower for that car, Sierra. Craig, you got a flex category.
I have the cell phone. Same thought as Joe, and that this movie makes like not knowing what happens to your ex seem torturous when in reality it's actually like the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And that now, I mean, Rob would be on a list now if he had Instagram.
Yeah.
He'd be a fucking psycho.
Yeah, they wouldn't let this dude on commercial flights.
No, if he knew that like somebody was like across the street at a cafe or was posting photos with like a different guy, he would have completely lost his mind.
No.
But the other category I want to give, which is kind of odd, is the Sasha Jenkins Award, the actor you can't believe didn't become a bigger star. Jack Black, although you are right, he is literally probably the most dependable box office star right now, but he is a kid star. And I think it's kind of crazy that Jack Black never really was like an adult comedy movie star. And for how funny he is, he was never even like the top 5 of like, that's my favorite comedy star. He never really had like the big movie. He had Shallow Hal. And
which kind of ended it, right?
They tried
Yeah.
Nacho Libre and things like that. He's really funny in Tropic Thunder. But like, it's crazy that he never had an Austin Powers or an Ace Ventura. He's so physically gifted. And he like never became an adult comedy star, like a big one. And I think that's really weird.
Would you not count School of Rock as like
It's a
one of
kids
those?
movie.
Yeah, but he's saying like he never got in the Apatow crowd.
Yeah, no,
No.
I
He never
agree with
he
the
never
larger
had
take.
his franchise comedy.
I think
Yeah, it's a good point. Like there should have been like probably 5 School of Rocks.
It's
and
weird
there
that
was
they're
only
not
one.
thinking of that now. Like you could just base. I mean, like it's strange that like somebody wouldn't make a movie with Jack Black now, where it's like, what's your Ace Ventura?
Like could
what do
he
you
have
wanna
been
do?
like Jim Carrey? Like had like a 1994 Jim
Because
Carrey
he was so
year.
gifted physically as a comedian.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it just never, I mean, he was so good in Tropic Thunder and he's really good in the roles he's given, but I can't believe he never had his own franchise.
Stay tuned this holiday season for Anaconda.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true.
Also,
Well-
The Holiday, a perpetual rewatch for a
Oh,
lot of people. I think
yeah.
he's maybe the weirdest part of that
He
movie,
is.
though.
I,
Like, he feels
I,
so
you
out
could
of place.
argue he's like the
Great
weak
part of
link
the
of the
movie. Yeah.
holiday. I think
don't
part
know.
of the problem with him was the Tenacious D thing was pretty all consuming.
Sure.
Well,
He
and
was
he's-
like on the road half the time with them.
he has said that like he was worried about making this movie. Some people have the theory in this Consequence of
Mhm.
Sound oral history that he was worried because he was too scared. And he said that as well. But he was also like, but my music career was kicking off. And that was something that I was really interested in as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Half-Assed Center research. Not a lot, except for you can if you want to know the Marie DeSalle CD, what was on it.
Yeah.
This is really
After
funny.
Baby I Love Your Way, it includes Ghostbusters, Beat It, Baby Got Back, I Will
911's a joke.
Survive,
Yeah.
Mbop, My Heart Will Go On, The Time Is Now. Pretty
I
weird.
will kickstart the Marie DeSalle Ghostbusters cut. Like, I need Lisa Bonet singing Ghostbusters
Yeah.
in my life. I just need it.
You should turn it up.
Turn that thing up.
You should turn it up.
Tim Robbins said he agreed to take the small roles in High Fidelity and Anchorman because he didn't care about the money, but he wanted to keep the custom-made wigs. And that was part of the deal, that he got to keep the wigs
Do you
from
think
those
Susan
movies.
enjoyed the Ian
Oh,
gray
yeah, this is
ponytail
still
wig?
Sarandon era.
Right.
Yeah.
Got to Give It Up was the original Jack Black song for that scene, and he really wanted to do the other one, so they did the other one. How many movies do you think Joan and John Cusack have appeared in together?
So many.
Career.
Not only how many, but are they the best brother sister actor tandem to appear in films
Who are they
together?
competing against?
Gyllenhaal.
Together? How many
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal movies are there?
Donnie Darko.
How does one suck a fuck?
How exactly does one
Well,
suck a fuck, Rob?
You didn't guess. How many?
5.
10.
No. 10.
Wow.
There's a bunch that they're just
Yeah.
they're both sporting.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
not very big in, but
Because she's also in that Hughes movie that he's in.
yeah, 16 Candles. She's incredible in
Yeah.
Grosse Point Blank
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Has that been a
Well,
rewatchable yet?
it
Grosse Point
hasn't.
Blank?
Because she like I like that this is sort of her like girl on the phone is like kind of her role in this movie
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Well, and the scene at the funeral between the two of them is one of the best scenes in the movie.
but she's like, we are talking about someone else. Laura.
There's a theory that there's 5 albums that you can see in Rob's apartment, that's his top 5 albums.
Yeah.
And it's Funkadelic, Neil Young, Beach Boys, Sonic Youth, and the Minutemen.
It's pretty
Are
good.
the 5.
Checks out.
It's a pretty good 5.
Checks
Take
out.
with you.
Good theory.
Which Beach Boys album is it?
It's gotta be Pet Sounds.
Wild
right?
Honey.
Oh, see, little curveball.
Yep.
Classic Rob.
Classic Rob.
Rob got us again.
Mhm.
Speaking of Rob, you have a flex category. Your first one.
I do.
Probably your last after you get banned from the Rewatchables.
I'm gonna go out in flames then. You know,
For coming for
Well, you already
grunge.
have a new. You took over the hottest take category.
Once we send that clip to Courtney Love, yeah,
absolutely screwed.
I can't wait for fantasy for that clip.
I know.
Top 3 people who would go nuts for that clip.
Definitely like Yasi and
Yes.
Sean are going to lose their minds when they hear that. Yeah.
We
Getting
might
a
not
lot of
show it
pod
to
privileges
Yasi.
revoked.
Yeah.
Let's keep that away from Yasi.
Rob, you were like establishing yourself as a music guy.
I love it.
Ringer.
Listen,
Yeah.
as all of you know, we need more hottest takes in life.
That's
Craig
right.
tried to bring back cannibalism. Now cannibalism is in pluribus.
It's true.
Rob,
Thanks to
what's-
Craig, I heard.
Rob, what's your flex?
I'm going to attempt the double Seagal. So we've got Steven Seagal shitting on himself for the most unbelievable anecdote from the actual film shoot, and the Steven Seagal Hard to Kill Award. Did this movie need a better intimacy coordinator? Apparently, the Tim Robbins dream sequence that we've been talking about, it wasn't really directed by Stephen Frears at all. He went and gathered all of the women on set who were just like working in hair and makeup or working in craft services, and were like, "Can you guys just tell us what to do?" And the result is that Iben Hjejle said, "This was the best sex scene I've ever shot and the most comfortable I've ever been. So I put it to you. Do they need another intimacy coordinator, or did they crowdsource an entirely new model we should be taking advantage
She
of?"
said Stephen Frears was essentially like in the corner
Yes.
with his hands over his eyes.
Turn to the
as-
corner, shielding himself.
As the women of the wardrobe department were like, grab her ass.
Yes, that's hot. That's funny. Crawl your hand
And
down
wasn't
her
Tim
thigh.
Robbins kind of like, I have like a small window to do this, so we gotta kind of like
We gotta
wiggle out. Yeah.
Well, maybe this would be a new blueprint for intimacy coordinators that will go terribly wrong on some other movie set, would be my guess.
Yeah.
So maybe don't crowdsource the crew.
Maybe not. Or be very
I can't
careful
believe
about who
that
you're
worked.
hiring in the crew. But it turned out to be a hilarious scene.
Fun
Yeah.
fact, the cinematographer of this movie, Seamus McGarvey, also was cinematographer on 50 Shades of Grey. Was he inspired
Oh.
by this sequence? Who's to
Wow.
say?
I don't think so, based on what we know about the 50 Shades of Grey intimacy coordination.
Apex Mountain, Cusack, no.
What's the argument for no?
Gross
I
Point
don't-
Blank.
I don't
or
think
say
it is.
anything.
But this run, like 97 to 2000, that run.
He doesn't like these.
You don't like the run?
He doesn't like the run. He likes the exact moment. Trust me, I've tried to unlock this door so many
It's always
times.
fun when a new Rewatchables person comes in.
What's Apex Mountain? Okay.
It's the most juice. He didn't have the most juice in this movie.
Is
It's
it-
earlier.
Is
They
it-
literally called him to be like, "Can you bail out our script because it doesn't work? Can you make this movie work?" And he's like, "Yes, I will do it. I will star in it. I will make an unlikable character quite survivable within the context of the movie. Like, you want to spend time with Rob despite the fact that he sucks." I think he's got a lot of juice here.
Maybe he never had an Apex Mountain.
I think 96,
Just a couple mini
96,
mountains?
97 is his apex.
When he's in
I
Con
think
Air?
it's City Hall, Gross Point Blank, Con Air.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Sarah.
That's
Thank
like
you.
Blockbuster,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Prestige Pacino,
Mhm.
you know.
But
yeah.
you stretch out a little bit and you go Thin Red Line, Malkovich, this.
Yes. Although he probably doesn't even know he was in Thin Red Line.
I'm not sure
No one
anyone
knows they
does.
were in Thin Red Line.
You could have been in it, Chris. I don't know.
I was
Apex
cut out of
Mountain,
Thin Red Line.
deleted Smith singles.
Microbangs.
Love Thy
Oh.
Neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
Book.
Like
Oh,
Microbangs.
Microbangs.
I was thinking about that. That
Yeah.
was very attractive to me at the time.
Jack Black, no.
No.
Beta Beat, definitely.
Beta Band.
Beta Band, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bonet, no. Zeta Jones, no. Katrina and the Waves, maybe?
Probably just
Did
actually
that
the-
or when the song actually came
I
out?
think that, yeah.
Iben Hjejle?
Iben Hjejle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And her microbangs.
Sad Bastard Music, maybe. Breaking the fourth wall in a movie. See, I brought that up earlier. Possible.
Guess he does, like, they do it in Annie Hall. I'm trying to think of, like, when that would have been, like, I think Ferris Bueller was probably the most, like, I was ever like, holy shit.
That might be the one.
But this is
It's
really
Ferris
good.
Bueller. That's you're right. That's what it is. It's Ferris. Or it's Stanley Roper on Three's Company. One of those.
Or
two.
is Fleabag.
Fleabag is great.
Or
Fleabag,
Fleabag. Would you go for Todd Louiso? Is
I
it the
think so.
Manny or is it this?
I think it's this.
It's this.
I think
What
more
was it?
people
Wasn't he
know
on
him from the
that ABC
Manny.
show that has the name Ted in it? It was like a workplace comedy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not better off.
Better Off Ted?
No.
That's a
He-
thing.
He
but
wasn't one of the like
is that
guys in
this
the
thing?
lab. I'm maybe confusing him for another guy who looks like him.
Chicago movies, no. Book movie combos from the last 35 years.
in terms of both are good.
35?
Last 35 years. We'll go
Let's-
back
let's
to
just
1990. I
hear-
think the answer is Fight Club.
Let's just do 25 years. 2000 on.
That's
Why
fine.
are we involving the 90s?
I would
Because
say.
I wanted to bring Fight Club into it as the answer.
What about Mystic River?
Atonement.
What?
Is that my daughter?
Atonement, really good.
Fight Club?
When was Bridges of Madison County? Was in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Bridget Jones.
Bridget Jones.
Holes, obviously.
Holes.
Obviously, Holes.
obviously.
50 Shades, we already cited.
Yeah, exactly.
Cruise or Hanks?
This is tough.
I
This
think-
is tough.
I think this is Cruise.
Hanks.
I'm never buying Cruise running a record store in
Oh, no.
Chicago and
It's-
pretending he likes music.
It's Cruise as Ian. That's the
Yeah,
myth.
I don't think Cruise. Yeah, exactly.
Cruise as Ian would be
Raymond?
Yeah.
unreal.
I agree.
So is that doable? Can Cruise win on that, or does he have to be the
it
lead?
has to be for the lead.
has
It's
to
gotta
be
be
the lead?
It's
But
who's
you don't
Rob.
think that I mean, yes,
It's Hanks then.
It's
Hanks is
the
the
Rob.
lead.
I guess
It's
it's
Hanks.
Hanks.
Hanks is Rob, but
Yeah.
Cruise is Ian / Ray.
What role would Philip Seymour Hoffman have played?
I think
So
Barry.
Freer said that
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman auditioned for this movie for, it seems like Dick.
They were trying to figure out like where to put him.
But do
Yeah.
you think he would have been good as Barry? I mean, he basically does that.
I thought he would have
Twister.
been his version of Dick. I think would have been pretty good as
Yeah.
like a Scotty J crossed.
I don't
with-
think you could put him with Jack Black though,
No.
but him, because he basically does a Jack Black
Can-
role
yeah,
in
can we-
Twister.
Can we
I
talk
always
that
think
out for a minute?
Philip Seymour Hoffman and Jack Black.
You don't think Philip Seymour Hoffman would have laid back and been counterpuncher for Jack
I don't
Black?
think he's capable of fading
Yeah.
that much.
I feel like it would be like Philip Seymour Hoffman's Punch Drunk Love character would
Yeah,
come
yeah.
out. Shut the fuck up! Shut up! It's like, hey man, we're just talking side one, track ones.
He's like, you put some respect on Anna's name.
Yeah.
Fuck
Picking
you.
nits. So Jack Black's character, I think we would all agree, was fantastic as a performer. Just not ever playing music in any capacity.
Never
Just
got a
working at
chance.
the store.
Yeah.
Couldn't have gone to karaoke night and belted it out a couple times. This guy never sang.
I do like the idea that like when he's just like, how come you're not putting my record out? And he's like, because you just won't let anybody hear your stuff. That being said, the influences that he has up on the flyer for his band
Mhm.
is got nothing to do with the music that he plays at the end. Like
Yeah,
it's as
no.
far from like classic soul, like Palehead and Primal Scream and Warp Records is
It's
like
all over the place.
yeah.
Laura being with Ian. This was like a 90s trope. It was the same guy in Singles with the ponytail guy that
Listen,
Kira Sedgwick's character ends up with. Why do they do this?
Sometimes you're interested in understanding what tantric is. Sometimes
Sure.
you're like,
Oh.
Yeah.
have I tried tempeh? I don't know.
It's like
Maybe
a-
maybe
it's
I
like
want some
Valerie
stir
showed
fry.
up here.
But
How many earrings does this man have on his ear? You know, it could be 4, it could be 5. Who's
Something
to say?
I said while watching this movie is I'm upset that my ear jewelry and his ear jewelry is essentially the same.
Mm.
I was not happy about that.
there was also like a trend back then because they would like the genre of world music was so kind of popular and it was a very like
Jack Black wearing the Yanni
Yeah.
t-shirt, the Yanni tour t-shirt. This is John Corbett's character in Serendipity too, right?
Hmm.
Because he's essentially Yanni in that movie.
Yeah.
I do think Rob referring to him as some Supertramp fan is offensive. That's rude for no reason.
do you like Supertramp?
Fine, but like
more
I
than Nirvana?
no comment.
He's a Magnolia soundtrack guy.
What other
Jesus.
nitpicks do we have?
The band that they use as a stand-in for what is it, Vince and what's the other kid's name? Like the
Justin?
Kinky
Yeah,
Wizards
Vince, yeah,
band.
Vince and Justin.
They play Royal Trucks' music as like this is what they sound
Mhm.
like. But Royal Trucks would be a band in the High Fidelity world because they were on Drag City, which is a Chicago label. So that just is like breaking a seal there. Sorry to get nerdy about that. And the way that Lewis, the Alex Dessert character, holds the Captain Beefheart record shows that he does not
We're
hold
getting kicked out of that store.
$40 LPs because he's like holding it by the corner of the sleeve and
Mm.
bending it and like you're
You're like, get your patchouli stink out of my store.
well, no, but it's like that record is now worth like $5 less because of the way you're holding it.
So that was the secret sauce right there from CR.
I think it's really good stuff. I'm gonna go with Rob can't afford that apartment.
No chance.
No. Nor can he afford to pay Dick and
Is he paying
Barry.
them only for 3 days a week, even
But,
though
like,
they show up
where
full
do they
time?
live? Like Evanston? Like how does that happen?
What's the
What's-
ratio of people who couldn't actually afford the apartment they're in the movie? Is usually 50-50.
I believe Marie could afford her apartment, possibly.
No, and I'm not saying just this movie in general. With movies and TV shows we like, the apartments are always nicer.
I would say
Yeah.
75-25.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even 75 feels low. I feel like overwhelmingly, it's like you just need enough space for one to film in these places a lot of the times, and then there's just no way they'd be realistic for a record store.
This is a big thing with my wife when we watch stuff.
It bothers me
She's
a lot.
always really upset with if they don't get the real estate.
Right.
I mean, I think
Like,
especially because in this movie, he's like, look at my shithole apartment. And I'm like,
and it's like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I will say the other thing about Laura moving in with Ian/Ray is when he tells
Ian/Ray.
when he tells the story of their story, she moved in with him right away. So I think this is just something Laura does.
Yeah.
Serial monogamous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also a little weird because Ian's living in Rob's building but moves out and then Laura moves in with him.
Right.
I think that's
I would need a minute to kind of process that.
It's a move. It's a ploy. My lease is expiring move.
Yeah.
Does it work?
You know who it worked for? My wife.
What's her
6
version of
months
that?
She
in.
said to you,
Incredible
she's
reveal.
my lease is expiring.
think
Might
she
as
would
well
admit
move
it.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
She's like,
happened
I'm
back
here
then.
all the time anyway. And
Yeah.
next thing I knew, I had
Might as
a
well.
roommate.
Yeah.
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 Bill's
It
like,
happened
hold
to
on,
me.
let me turn down my world music for
It's
a
like-
second. We got to move you in.
I
I'm
think
like,
I was
hold
like
on,
6
Pedro
or 8
make a
months
trade
into
it.
a relationship and a girl I was dating got evicted and was like, I can either leave Boston or live with you. And I was like, well, live with me then.
There's just like
It's like, just as long as you know there's 4 other guys here.
working in retail in San Francisco in the early odds. There
Yeah.
would be couples who would break up and they would like have to stay there because
their
yeah,
apartment together.
yeah.
That's tough.
Like someone has to sleep on the couch or whatever because you just like can't afford to move. So
That's like an Apple News story you'd read on the side of your iPhone where it's like the divorced couples who still live together.
Yeah.
Here in Harper's
The
Magazine.
real story of the
Yeah.
housing crisis. Yeah.
6-minute read.
Any other pick and nits from anybody?
After the funeral, Rob jumps over the white picket fence into the mud. He's covered in mud.
And then
Yeah.
Immediately goes into a car
Fully
and they have
clean.
sex. Just vile. Absolutely disgusting.
No, but he's
do not
also
do that.
completely cleaned off when he gets into the car.
But how?
I
It's
don't know.
Well, I would say it's a torrential downpour for about like 40% of this movie.
True.
So that rain was coming down.
Also,
But he's
torrential
like shaking
downpour
the
in
mud off
Chicago,
his
Everybody
hands.
has pneumonia. Yeah.
Oh, disgusting.
Any nitpicks, Craig? Nothing brewing for you?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Also, just to be clear about the movie's statement on this, sorting your collection autobiographically is deranged, right? Like it's meant to read as deranged.
No, but kind of cool.
No, it's how do I explain this?
It's crazy. It's a crazy thing to
Dude,
do.
though, this is I gotta tell you, there's nothing more satisfying than reorganizing your CD collection or your records.
I
right?
agree with
Like,
that.
just taking them all out, seeing what you got,
Yep.
and cleanly putting them back away.
But
And
don't
the
leave them stacked because the
the
pressure.
The pressure.
They'll compress.
Rob, if you took your movies, your
Yes.
DVDs, your Blu-rays, your 4Ks,
Right.
and could you put them in autobiographical order?
No chance. There would be
But
like
wouldn't it be fun to try?
there
I
would be-
watched this. I remember I watched this when I was in 5th
Maybe you
grade
should
at the
open your
mall.
heart to it.
maybe. I'm
Put
just
on
thinking about
Nirvana
like
Unplugged.
Yeah.
who's to separate the one time I went to like CD Warehouse in 2006 from the other time I
Maybe
went
you're
to
not
Movie
a real-
Trading Co. in
Maybe you're
2005.
not a real one like
Yeah.
this, Rob.
I guess not.
Maybe you're not a true fan.
Well, so is it meant to be autobiographical by when you first listened to it or when you bought the record?
I think it's supposed to be every song has a story. So every record has
Sure.
a story. It's like, oh, I listened to Super Chunk when I broke up with my girlfriend, blah blah blah. So I have to find it in
Yes.
this year.
the
kind of thing.
soundtrack of your life
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't think you can do
That
that.
is when I would listen to Super Chunk.
Spotify. Yeah.
Any other nitpicks? Because I'm going to move on to the Wayne Jenkins Award.
Do you have a Wayne Jenkins award?
We can skip it. I could also be talked into doing one.
I was wondering. I don't have any other nitpicks.
It's Rob's first time. Don't you think you should do it?
I would love one.
You want to do a Wayne Jenkins?
I don't want to do one, but I would love
Okay.
to experience one.
Okay. I had Stephen A. Smith as Rob in the scene when Ian/Ray shows up to the store
Uh-huh.
as a 5th scenario. Because we have 4 scenarios in there. This would be the 5th. I'll pretend you're Ian/Ray in this. Ian/Ray. You know I like you. You know we're friends. But I did not appreciate how you came into this record store. That's how I'm. I was doing that. Stephen A on YouTube does a very low
Oh,
voice.
he's got
Oh,
like
yeah.
a very like I'm warning you not to cross this line
Yes.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Ian/Ray. You know I like you.
Yeah.
If you want to do whatever you want to do with Laura, I hope y'all are very happy. Just don't come in this record store again. Because if you come in a second time, we're going to have a problem. That's Stephen A. YouTube.
So-
really
10 out of 10.
nice. Really
Thank
nice
you.
work by
Thanks.
you.
Pregnant
Thanks.
pause, low
Working on
voice.
it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Working
you
on
were really hitting it.
Rob?
Build threat, also an important part of the formula.
Rob, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
It
And
would
now
be-
he'll go to answering fan mail where he like ranks Pokemon or something.
Just one Oscar. Who gets it?
I think Cusack, right?
What about?
I was gonna say Jack Black supporting.
Well, what about?
Production designer.
Oh, I like that.
Good call.
Especially like the record store
They
they
built that
from
record store
scratch.
from scratch.
Unanswerable questions. Is this movie better with Ethan Hawke?
As Rob?
Aren't most?
No, because you're taking Troy from Reality Bites and you're putting him in this movie.
Or I'm zagging from Troy from Reality Bites and doing the evolutionary older Troy from Reality Bites.
Like a self-aware Troy.
A little more
His dad already
self-aware.
died.
True.
Froggy already went a courting, and now he's doing this.
Hey, that's my bike, crashed and burned. He's moved to Chicago and opened a record store, you know?
No.
I'm in for it. Like, I think Cusack is really tremendous in this movie, but I don't know many Cusack movies that Ethan Hawke couldn't also do.
No, well, here's the deal. I think Ethan Hawke is a way better actor than John Cusack. I think John Cusack has a
Ineffable
likability
kinda,
He does.
that Rob really needs, that Ethan doesn't inherently have.
That's my next question. Did Ethan Hawke market correct John Cusack?
Well,
Yeah.
they're pretty parallel, right? Like, I think he's a little younger than him, but
I mean, maybe that's part of the reason Cusack started doing so many other weird roles. It's like
Ethan
Ethan
Hawke got in
Hawke
his
grabbed
head.
all the sensitive boys, and then Cusack had to hit it and do
and then
weird
John
thrillers.
Cusack's like, I have to make a movie in Bulgaria with like 3 UFC fighters.
Ethan Hawke could do Must Love Dogs,
Absolutely,
but John Cusack could not do Dead Poet Society.
no doubt.
What's
would
Love
be-
Dogs? Not a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
It would have been cool.
Not a bad movie.
That's your Diane Lane head talking, I think.
Sure.
That's just a
gonna
normal
defend
human
Diane as
brain.
always.
It would have been interesting if they put Ethan Hawke in the Tim Robbins role and made that character like much more down. Like, it would basically be like choose
Less
your fighter.
cartoonish.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Laura had to choose between the 2 icons of Gen X. You know?
That's just Reality
Ooh.
Bites
Yeah.
at that point, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Actually,
probably
Stiller
a better.
is better in that role.
That's a better Ian/Ray thing, right? He owns like the biggest comic book store
Yeah,
in
the
Chicago
problem
or
with
something.
Ian
He's on
Ray
Rob's
is that
corner.
it's
He's
like,
not even
why
a
would she
threat.
be with
Yeah.
this guy?
True.
Yeah.
True. What piece of
Oh, I had a
memorabilia?
couple other possible
let's hear it.
questions. Who should Rob wind up with?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Or the reader.
none of the
You know, I'm already in with the reader lady.
Well, sub question, not is it better to burn out than fade away, but why doesn't he call
I
Marie
love that you
DeSalle?
also did the hand gesture.
It's part of the move. Like, when he and Marie part ways, he's like, I'll call you. And she's like, yeah, whatever. Why wouldn't he call her?
Because both of them knew what that was, which was not an actual beginning of anything, but just sort of like, we're both not over the exes that we're talking about.
I just don't believe that guy does not call her again. Even though he's trying to
To
play
me,
it
that's
real
like
cool.
more out of his league than Charlie.
Maybe.
That's like more my like.
How about he has a better reaction to Penny's story?
Yep.
And he winds up with her because he's like, we're having a great date. She has a light up pen.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought film critics had to have, a light up pen because of this movie. But he's like, we're getting along. And if he has a better conversation with her in the restaurant that doesn't end with her storming out on the word rape, then maybe
Who
those two
knows?
crazy kids make it work.
All he had to do was not bring it up. All he had to do was not be going through a what does it all mean thing.
We
And
never
it would have been fine.
talked about the Allison Ashmore, the one in like 7th grade, the first kiss, when he's
Yeah.
just like, she married
He's
Kevin.
like, I'm fine now.
Kisses me.
Yeah.
Marries Kevin.
I'm fine now is such a good, like, such a funny
Mm,
delivery.
yeah.
That's the thing. Could Ethan Hawke do the like, I am alone in a room screaming? Because that is half of the
No,
Cusack performance.
Yeah, you're right.
That I'm not sure he has that.
Anymore.
Just what do we think the ceiling on Rob's DJing is? You know, like,
Oh, you had some thoughts on this.
well, so in the early 2000s, I would go see Hollertronics DJ, and that was Diplo and his partner Low Budget, and they would play a lot of stuff, but like it had that same kind of like, I'll play the Neptunes and then I'll play like an 80s new wave song. And so like that kind of like variety was emerging as a DJ choice, but I don't know. Like they make it seem like Rob is just selling clubs out with his DJing. And I was just like, I'm not so sure that's like a viable.
he also didn't have the DJ type of personality.
Yeah.
Did you believe he was a DJ? DJs have a certain vibe to them that I'm not sure John Cusack has. I can't see him being like, this DJ's got to do a lot of that to get the crowd going.
When famous enough that Caroline would remember him, but not so famous she wouldn't remember that he's Rob and not Bob. It's like it's a weird fine
Yeah,
line.
it's a
You
good
have
point.
a weird thing about,
Rob and Bob.
yeah.
Rob Bobs.
I think we all do. You know,
But like,
it's nothing offensive. It's just like I am not a Bob.
Yeah, or a Bobby or anything
Definitely
like
not a Bobby.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to be a Bobby
Big,
these days.
But you could
big
be a
shot
Rob.
Bob Mahoney.
that. But you could be a Rob or a Robert, but not a Bob or a Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, I literally am a Robert, and I'm definitely a Rob.
Okay.
Bob is just like they grew up on the other side of the river.
You
know?
should
It's a different
develop a
culture
group
over
chat
there.
character called Bob Mahoney. That's where you save your real takes.
The
you
real
know?
Chris, have you ever considered Topher?
No.
Okay.
That's in the Chaz,
That was never
Chaz
like
camp.
that wasn't in the mix until Topher Grace.
I
Honestly.
didn't-
Yeah.
It took years until I figured out that was short for Christopher.
I just
Yeah.
found that out right now.
Yeah.
And Liam's the other one. That
Yeah.
Liam's didn't exist for the first 30 years of my life. And then all of a sudden they started.
I'm just
having
glad I got past the era of my little league coach calling me Chrissy. You know, that was like,
Yeah.
Tough.
I was really worried that was going to stick. and
That's
it
real
didn't.
tough.
Tony Soprano calling Christopher Chrissy a couple times. That's the last time that's happened.
Yeah.
What about Will Simmons? Like your alter ego, Will Simmons.
I just
Never
never
Billy?
would have. No, I was Billy for the first like 20 years. Then went to college and dropped the Y
Oh, wow.
because my dad
clean-
was
it's
always
cleaner.
Bill and I was
Yeah.
Billy. That separated us.
So did you just never introduce yourself to
College,
anyone
I'm
as
like,
Billy?
I'm Bill.
You're Bill now.
I'm Bill.
A rebranding.
Yeah.
I'm now Bill.
Oh, okay.
What memorabilia would you want or not want from this movie? What one thing?
To be completely honest, it's not quite memorabilia. I want the record store.
All the entire record
I just
store.
want a storefront. Smoking indoors is allowed. We
Yeah.
listen to records all day and argue with each other. You
Okay.
could probably live stream it.
There's a Marie DeSalle poster that I think would be pretty
The
great.
black
Yes.
and white one.
Yeah, the when
Or
you
like
see
black and
outside the
orange-ish.
club,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a poster of her thing. I
Yeah.
thought it was good.
What about the Dickies shirt that he wears and Zoe Kravitz also wears in the TV show?
Sure.
Oh,
Quite good.
Also, great coat. John Cusack, perhaps top 5 coat actor.
The leather jacket. Yeah.
The long leather jacket, but he's like a really good coat jacket actor. He knows how to like swing a pocket, et cetera, et cetera.
I like that.
How about you, Rob?
I would love the flyer for the record release party, which I mean looks like a woman is giving birth to the name Kinky Wizards in space. But most importantly to me, at the risk of doxing myself, the party is happening literally on my birthday, so I got to have the flyer. You know,
Just more fuel for the Nirvana
I know
fans to come after
for
you.
Courtney Love to steal your identity.
life lesson.
It's not what you like. It's not what you're like. It's what you like.
Yeah, I
about-
think that's
that's a
what it
pretty
is.
What
good
about
one.
for all the physical media collectors at the Ringer?
Oh.
Fetish properties are not unlike porn.
I mean, it's true.
I'd feel bad selling to these guys if I wasn't one of them.
How about when Rob is going through what he misses about Laura, he's talking about how she has character. And it's like character is not taking it out on people when you're having a bad day. I think there's some truth to that.
Oh,
But more importantly, it's what you like.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the movie.
And not what
Like,
you
that's
were
the whole
like.
deal.
Yeah.
double feature choice.
You know, Joe got me thinking about Clerks, but I had Empire Records written down.
What about if you flip the formula and you make a movie that's basically from Laura's perspective? It's also another Nick Hornby book, which is Juliet Naked, where she's like
Great
dating
call.
a guy
Yeah,
who is
and has
like
Ethan
a Rob.
Hawke in it, right?
Has
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke in it.
I like that, but
I think that
movie.
like the movie's pretty good. I think
Yeah.
it could work as a double feature.
I would say either Grosse Pointe Blank or About a Boy.
I would do Say Anything, bookend it with Cusack, the beginning end of Gen X.
Yeah.
Who won the movie?
Jack Black.
I think Jack Black as well.
His entire career.
It's hard to argue. I think what Cusack gets out of this is pretty powerful. And like all the iconography of the movie,
Yeah.
the cover, the poster, him in the record store is all Cusack. But
Well,
Jack
Cusack
Black does
wins
seal it.
because he knew that Jack Black, this was the perfect
That's
part
right.
for
True.
him. So
That's right.
he
He
wins.
made Jack
So
Black.
after he
He
got
wins
done
out of
calling
this.
Springsteen, and
I told
calling
these guys
Dylan,
Jack Black was
Yeah.
going to be great. I
Cast
told
Jack
Dylan
Black.
when I was on the phone with him.
Picked all the songs in the movie.
Yeah. What do you have?
I think I have Cusack. I think that there was a road here where he could have done like an iconic generational role every 10 years. And he kind of did it in his teens and his 20s and gets right up to the precipice of his 40s. And it just goes direct to video.
Yeah.
Too much time with Jeremy Piven. Producer Craig,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Never seen this film.
Oh,
Yeah. There's
but
a
your
lot.
wife likes it though.
Yeah, she saw it a while ago, and I think she saw it when she was really young, and was like, now I'm realizing that I completely didn't get that movie, and I need to watch it again. But there's a lot I liked about this movie, but there's no way I could like it as much as the people who actually fit the demo who saw it when it came out.
Sure.
Like, I just think you kind of can't get there unless you were there. It's just not for me. It's not mine. Like, I feel like you guys were like the people in the record store in the movie, like working there.
Yeah.
And then I was the dad who walked in
The queer dad.
What are you in a coma?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to point out the scenes I like, but you guys are like, you weren't fucking there. You don't understand. But it's funny. This movie being in 2000, I feel like I knew less of the names you guys talked about today than a movie that came out like 1980.
Of the actors or like the bands?
Just like the cultural references are just like gone. I don't like when you were just naming all the singers that you were like attracted to in the 90s. Like, I didn't know any of the names you were talking about. Half the bands over my head. It's crazy that, I think I was born in 1994. And it's like your parents, when right when they have kids, like that's the time in your life where you like stop consuming new things, right? And so from like 94 to 2000, my parents probably watched the least amount of movies they had ever watched.
Sure.
Which is when kind of this comes out. And then when I come to in like the mid 2000s, I was completely getting ingested into like the Apatow era. So I think there was just like, it's like there are these blind spots. And it's why I saw 80s movies before these movies because my parents loved the 80s movies. So I think there's like a blind spot from like 94 to 2000 that I just like have no cultural reference for.
And you never read the book?
No.
Yeah. The book's really good. It's worth reading.
It really
It
is.
is.
My copy is all water damaged because I accidentally left it on the lawn of my dorm and the sprinklers came on. And so it's all like crunchy and wavy.
that's
And I was
great.
just like, I'm going to keep it that way.
I also struggle with the emotionally stunted, like angry at the world, woe is me, like reality bites Troy type. There's something about that's never called. I don't love that.
But that is the Apatow guys too. Like
But-
that, in a slightly different
I
form.
mean,
They're just
this
making fun
is
of each other.
It's
as
the
they do it.
They're
Rogan
just more
character from
stoned.
Knocked Up.
That's true.
Yeah,
I think.
it turns much more raunchy and slapstick in
It's
the
just
mid
they're
2000s.
trying to do Mr. Skin.
Yeah.
Instead of having a record store.
Yeah, and it's like it's not as clever. Like the writing is not as clever deliberately. Like there are still lines in this movie that are very reality bitesy. Like John Cusack looking at the camera and being like, "It was a state of ill-advised blah blah blah," and you're like, nobody in an Apatow movie talks like that.
Yeah.
And it's still it's very lyrical in this movie, which is like kind of a example of that 90s style.
Except for my guts have shit for brains, which is a line I would cut from this movie.
I'd like to apologize before we end the pod that I didn't mention the lady from Mazzy Star as one of my throw my life away people.
Well, you didn't. You did that class thing where you shoved the boat out and you didn't come up behind me. It's like who is your Rushmore? So the lady from Mazzy Star. Who else?
Juliana Hatfield.
No.
Like, who are these people? I
Liz
have no
Fair.
Okay, Mazzy Star, you got it.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know Fade Into You would know
Yeah.
that song.
You would know
Maybe.
Fade Into. Yeah.
Who was the one that dated Evan Dando? Evan.
Julianne Hatfield did, didn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she's on there. I feel like we're
Right,
missing
just-
somebody.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
prepared for this.
Well, you
This
asked
is what
me.
you
I
always
wasn't
do.
prepared for
I
it
know.
either. This is how
I
it
asked
feels.
you,
You
but I
always
didn't-
keep a list on you.
Yeah, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to talk about who I was attracted to for a decade. Like I just forgot.
You're always doing that in the office, though.
Cracking a cold poppy can. And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
also like there was just like it was more like types of women, and it was like, it was more like women in Hal Hartley movies or Noah Baumbach movies or whatever.
Yeah, like the girl in Kicking and Screaming.
Yeah.
Rob, how was it for you?
This is great.
Yeah.
This is the kind of initiation I was hoping and
You
dreaming
did a
of,
great
so
job.
Thank you.
hoping to just like burn your career with
Oh
a
yeah,
hot
this
take.
is it. It's clearly can't be invited back.
Joanna, a pleasure as always.
No thrill.
CR, you're the best. Thanks to
Great to see
Craig
you. man.
Horlbeck, Gahau as well. Who else is back there?
I don't know who's back there now. CT, Jack Wilson. Shouts out to Eduardo.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back. How many more? What's today's date?
It's today is like the 8th or 9th or something.
Today's the 10th.
10th.
We
Oh,
have
man,
we
really?
have 2 more in the month of December.
Yeah. Wow. There
After
you go.
this.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks.